Good morning, Raptor freaks. Lexi out there, and it's a preview game for Sacramento Kings. 10 p.m. Eastern time start playing DeMar DeRozan and the Kings on the second game of the road trip, 5-game road trip. There is a major thing happening in the States right now. It's not totally over. I'm not going to talk about it too much today. I'm going to try not to, because if you guys get me talking about it, it's not going to be a good stream watch because I'm going to go off. But we'll try and focus on basketball this morning. And yeah, I would just say, uh, God help us all. That's what I would say right now. As far as this is really, really bad stuff that happened yesterday. Let's just put it that way. All right. And I'm really shocked that 70 million people, I don't even believe this right now. Like, I really don't believe. In some ways, I didn't believe when Ford won the provincial election because of some bullshit too. And I feel like there are ways to cheat elections in certain ways with uh, gerrymandering, and also as far as the electoral college has its problems, obviously, but it also uh, just the way they count votes and things that in the evening is kind of weird. Anyway, that's my one comment about that. All right, Monique's here. Good morning, Raptor Freak crew. Go Raptors. That's right. Let's go Raptors. Let's go, Monique. Finding out late last night that she's going to have her wheelchair paid for her, which is absolutely fantastic. I'm really happy to hear that MLSC and the Raptors are going to come through and help you. And thank you to all the Raptor Freak family that helped chip in and donate money to help such a great cause. This is the stuff in life that matters, not the bullshit that guy represents. It's the stuff helping out and caring about each other and being humans and being considerate and kind to each other. And Monique, I'm so happy that you're going to get a new chair and that you're set up for that. That's so awesome. Kareem saying, sorry, I don't want to bring up old shit, but Jakob Pertl didn't have a single foul in the first half against Denver and fouled out halfway through the fourth. Yo, fuck these Foot Lockers, Zebras, go Raptors. Yeah, I was very cognizant of this, Kareem. I actually said it on the stream yesterday. I remember when Jakob got his first foul, it was near halftime. It was like 2 minutes before halftime, and I was like, "Oh, Jakob's only got one foul. He's not in foul trouble." And then somewhere in the early fourth, like somewhere in the fourth, he got his sixth foul, and I was like, "Wait, when did he get all those fouls in there?" Yeah, they racked him up really good in the third quarter, and that was something that I pointed out about the ref hit job in Denver, is that Jakob Pertl collected like 6 fouls in like a quarter. Really, is what he got it all in the third quarter. It's really crazy. The fact that people can't work at a Walmart because of a criminal record, yet you can be president, is outrageous to me. Okay, got these two things off my chest. Let's talk about Sacramento Queens matchup. Yeah. Yep. There's so many different things that should have disqualified this guy. There's so many different things that should have happened. In some ways, it's all a charade and a theater show at this point. We can tell. And really, it's like if the ultra elite wealthy want to control things and just make a facade that there is actually an election or something like that, well, go ahead in some bullshit. I'm just very happy that I live in this country of Canada. In some ways, if I still lived in Florida right now, yeah, I'd be pulling the hair that I don't have out of my head. I did my part. I unlike in 2016, which I didn't vote, I voted in 2020 and I voted this time too. And at least I don't have the guilt of sitting out and not doing the thing that I could do with my power in this situation. But yeah, there's a lot of dumb people in South Florida that are immigrants from Cuba that are absolutely idiots. They're really, really fucking stupid people. And then, yeah, most of rural Florida is just dumbass hillbillies that don't have a brain cell, that are very just motivated by hate. Because honestly, if all those people actually voted for him yesterday, the main reason why they went is because of hate, incited by hate. So, I mean, that's not the action this world needs and stuff like that. And it's too bad. In some ways, it's also a referendum on the fact that male chauvinists, male dominated people, egomaniacs are still not willing to concede any power to women, that the United States hates women. And it's sad. It's a sad thing. And, a lot of people that are for Trump, you would probably hate women on the down low, honestly, is what I'm going to say right now. because that's the main reason why probably a lot of people couldn't vote for Kamala, is because they saw her as a woman first, or even a minority, and that's just pure discrimination and hate. So I don't know. 70 million people in the states are fucking idiots. And if you think Trump is a good person, if you think Trump is the right candidate for yesterday, you're low IQ, you're dumb as fuck, and you get a lot of disinformation and misinformation. You bought it hook, line, and sinker. You dumbass Mark, is what I'll say about that. That's right. Nako saying 10-pointer for Kareem. I'll talk about it. Yeah. Yeah. Still no IQ. Wow. Geez. Yeah. Let's do that real quick. Thanks, Mo, for giving me the cue card. Yes, IQ is doubtful to play today, but that doesn't mean he's out for sure. He's doubtful. And as Josh Lewinberg pointed out on his Twitter yesterday, being doubtful for 8 games and straight is rare. Normally, a guy isn't doubtful this long. Either he goes the other way back, like he regresses and he goes or out. But being doubtful for 8 games in a row is very rare and weird. And in some ways, man, I just want the sunshine of IQ coming back out and playing the way he plays with his crazy shots and the way he does things. And then, I'll probably get some sunshine today. If IQ came out and played tonight against the Sacramento Kings, that would brighten my day. So please, Emmanuel, suit up and play tonight. He is doubtful because of his pelvis, the injury he took in the first game of the season against the Cavs when he hit. He couldn't catch himself with his arms. Scotty is out, of course. He isn't even on this road trip. He's, but the news is better with Scott. It's now the time frame has shrunk from 3 to 4 weeks check-in. It'll be 2 weeks check-in. So we'll see where Scott is in a little while. They'll let his face heal as quick as it can. Bruce Brown's still out, of course, recovering from his knee surgery. And then Kelly Olynyk still weeks away because of his back. That's another one that I really want to get back is Kelly. Kelly will help our front line depth so much after Jakob with just a capable big who's going to do different things in different ways. And Bruno Fernando, you have that chance still. You just need to step up and be a spark plug in certain ways. So my speculative starting lineup for the Raptors today is Davion Mitchell, Grady Dick, RJ Barrett, Oshai Abaji, and Jakob Poeltl. Yeah, I think that Oshai should start if this is the people that are available. I think that he's done such good production in games, whether off the bench or starting, that we can count on him for a double digits in scoring, a pretty good high percentage shooting. He's hitting his threes now. And then, of course, the stuff he does on the defensive end is just really valuable also as far as trying to clamp things up. So, yeah, that's the Raptors side of things. The Kings kind of have the same thing going on as they did when we saw them on Saturday. Kevin Huerter is on the injury list still day to day with he has an illness. He's been sick. That's why he didn't play on Saturday. And he is day to day. And they're saying that he is questionable for tonight's game against the Raptors. Also on the injury list for them is Orlando Robinson is out, and the Devin Carter, the son of former Raptor Anthony Carter, is still out also. So we'll probably see a similar starting lineup to what we saw on Saturday. De'Aaron Fox, DeMar DeRozan, Keegan Murray, Domantas Sabonis, and possibly Doug McDermott once again was the guy they put into the lineup for Kevin Huerter. Yeah, we just saw Sacramento. So, and we beat them in overtime. So we could see, can we sweep the Kings for this year? They after they played us, they went to Miami and they beat the Miami Heat in a 1-point victory down there. It was kind of like DeMar versus Jimmy Butler, and they took care of business and they got a 1-point win over the Miami Heat. And the Miami Heat's that's the crazy thing. The Kings have won 3 out of their last 4 games, guys. We're the only one they didn't win. So they have been playing very well. We beat them on Vince Carter retirement night. So there you go. There you go. There's the scouting report on them. Let's go do the refs next. This is interesting. We've got a really bad ref crew. This may be one of the worst ref crews we've had all season so far, this very short season. But it's a really weird thing because they favor us, even though this is one of the worst ref crews we've had this year. All 3 refs favor the Raptors today, guys. And this is weird. You'll find out why it's so weird. The crew chief tonight is Ed Malloy. We're going to see Ed Malloy for the first time, number 14 out of his 23rd season out of Media, Pennsylvania. Ed is a big fan of Jeopardy. He likes the movie Top Gun Maverick. He listens to AC/DC. His favorite book is Tom Clancy, anything by him. He likes to eat penne alla vodka. His favorite app is Spotify, and he most like to visit Sorrento, Italy. Of course, we know Ed is one of those ref manipulators at a high level. He's up there with Foster and Kogut, who are refereeing together in Phoenix today, by the way, Scott Foster and Murat. Ed Malloy has a bachelor's degree in marketing from Thomas Jefferson, like from the president. How did you get a bachelor's degree from Thomas Jefferson? How old are you, Ed Malloy? Is that a school? Oh, it makes it sound like you got a degree from the man, the president, like the third president. I don't know. That's weird. Ed Malloy is usually somebody I do not like in any kind of way. But if he gives us a fair shake tonight, I'll like him more. We win 44% of our games. He's in the red zone. But the crazy thing is, well, he's one of the better refs today. 44% of our games have been won when he's around. Meanwhile, the Kings only win 36% when Ed Malloy is present. So 44-36 for the Raptors. One of the very few times Ed Malloy actually favors the Raptors, guys. It's very, very strange. The second ref is Natalie Sago. It's his protege. Yeah, he loves no, wait, Scott Foster's protege is Natalie Sago. Never mind. Ed Malloy's protege, I believe, is somebody else. But either way, Natalie Sago, number 9 in her 7th season out of St. Louis, Missouri. Her favorite TV show is Unsolved Mysteries. Her favorite movie is Hardball. She likes Morgan Wallen. Her favorite book is Winning. She likes to eat steak. She uses Instagram. She'd like to visit Fiji, and her bucket list is to watch a game in all 30 MLB stadiums. She's almost more than halfway there. That's a nice little update note on there because they didn't have that on her profile last year. So she's letting us all know that she's more than halfway there. And her hidden talent is juggling. Natalie Sago's father, Shelton, was a high school basketball official in Missouri for 35 years and a rules interpreter for the Missouri State High School Activities Association. He worked multiple state championships. Shelton was also a high school football official for 30 years. Yeah, Natalie's right down the middle with her. We've won 10 games and we've lost 10 games in the years of Sago over the last 7 years. Meanwhile, the Kings, they win 47% of their games. So we are actually favored by Natalie 50-47 in today's. That's the closest split, by the way, out of all of them today. The third ref is the worst ref out of the other two. That's right. This guy's the worst one. He's a younger ref, CJ Washington, number 12 in his 9th season out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Yeah, he has the worst winning percentage out of the 3 of them. And that you heard what they are already. His favorite TV show is Godfather of Harlem. He likes the movie Life, which is in some ways a picture into the friendship of Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan, from what we learned. Favorite musician, Anthony Hamilton. Favorite book, Rise of the King. He likes to eat lasagna, and he liked to visit Italy. And his bucket list is to attend a football game at Notre Dame Stadium. CJ Washington previously worked as a licensed residential building inspector and a residential real estate appraiser. Very interesting. Yeah, he's the worst ref today. We win 40% of our games with CJ Washington out there. He's just barely not in the worst zone at 40%. But the Kings only win 36%. So once again, a really bad ref to us normally favors us against the Kings. 40-36 is the split. So it's a weird kind of all of them all together kind of thing where these refs are normally historically very, very mean and bad to the Raptors, but they are the same to the Kings also. So maybe a toss-up. I think the home court advantage will help. I think the gumption that they lost to us on Saturday in overtime, and their coach Mike Brown's kind of probably like, we need to turn this around and even the series. You know, in some ways there are favoring things for the Kings tonight, but the refs apparently favor us, which is very strange, very, very strange when Ed Malloy is involved in the game. So yeah, but man, I don't think I've ever had Ed Malloy and Natalie Sago and CJ Washington, and they actually favor us. So that just goes to show how they treat Sacramento badly too, guys. They treat them badly too. It's crazy, man. You want a 10-pointer for Kareem? Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do that, Nako. Why not? Because honestly, man, today, in some ways, look, I'm just gonna be trying to just focus on what I can control in my life. Obviously, I can control that I voted, and my vote got counted. And after that, It's the rest of the world's got to figure it out after that. That's right. Yeah. Let's see. UC's here. Hopefully Doug is starting again. Laugh out loud. Doug McDermott. Yeah. Yeah. He didn't move around very well. He's getting, I don't know if he's that old. It's just that he's never been a very mobile player. And in some ways, when we play the Kings with our energy and the way we get after it, maybe he's just tired out or he can't keep up with the pace. So it is an advantage for the Raptors if Doug McDermott is playing and starting because we're going to run circles around him. That's right. Good to see you again, UC, this morning. Yeah, Mo's saying don't wait until the fourth quarter to play catch up togetherness. That's right. The recipe for success is being learned more and more every day by this young core of the Toronto Raptors. And we're just going to have to see them take the hard lessons like the game in Denver on Monday night and just get better and better and better and try and progress. And that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Mike's saying maybe I need to get a Malloy jersey if it helps. Laugh out loud. Get a Ed Malloy. Get the number 14, Jacoby Walter of the refs. Yeah. I mean, if you want to, I mean, maybe it will evolve to this. The referees become more and more well known. Some of them have followings. And then there's like fans of the refs that come to the games. And it's not even about like the team anymore for some of the fans. Wouldn't that be a weird like thing if that developed in the NBA? In some ways, they're opening up the lives of the refs to us more and more every year. They do the ask me anythings during the games sometimes where they have different refs watching the game with fans on Reddit, and they'll answer all the questions anybody has in the middle of the game. There's also the Twitter account for the refs has a lot of like personal stories and interviews with the different refs, getting to know their personalities and trying to be light and funny and tell jokes. I mean, I can see this developing at some point. I don't know. My favorite ref is Bill Kennedy. And it'd be kind of fun to I don't know, see him sing some karaoke since he's a very good karaoke singer from what we hear. So yeah, it's a little weird, Mike. It's a little weird. Project Truth always, especially in these dark times. That's right. Blackhawk saying, man, I had to watch VC highlights this morning to keep my mind off Paula craps. Yeah, it's really disheartening and depressing. And like the whole world, there's an energy right now smacks so much of Germany 100 years ago, what's going on right now. And everybody, all 70 million of those people, those supposed people that voted for him, well, you're enablers for what's going to happen next. And honestly, when we see what happens next, you guys are going to regret how you voted yesterday. And it'll be your fault. It'll be your fault. So hopefully things won't be as bad as they could be. But the way it seems like it, this guy, you got to think about this. The psychology of it is this. This guy loved being the president because he loves power. He doesn't care about doing good things for people. It's his ego. He just wants to be that dude in that spot. And it has nothing to do with doing anything in service for the people that he's supposed to represent. And he was denied getting back in there in the 4 years because he rightfully lost. And Joe Biden was the president the last 4 years, but he whined and cried this whole time. So now this is the crazy thing. He's got a Supreme Court that's going to back him up because he put them there and he set this whole thing up. And, when we say this may have been the last election that we get to vote in, he said it quite blank. If I win, I'm not going to have elections anymore. He's going to declare himself a dictator for life. So Americans, understand, you're idiots. You are fucking dumb as fuck. And honestly, this is going to be very scary what we see. Hopefully y'all's democracy can survive this. If there's safeguards and there's people that can figure this out to try and stop him from consolidating power for himself for the near forever, go and do your jobs and do them justly. But, he's going to have people coming after people that are going to try and stop him in any kind of way. And in some ways, he's going to be acting very much like Hitler. If you're not with me, I'm coming after you and I'm going to throw you in jail. This is what a dictator does. So America, and not only that, how can you look your daughters and wives and sisters and mothers in the face? Seriously, because honestly, you just made their lives a whole lot more miserable and tougher. And it's sad. It's just sad all around. It shows that the lack of education, the amount of misinformation, the amount of manipulation by Russia and other places and right-wing bots is really taken over too bad. There's so much crap online that really dumb people are just falling into to line with it, and it's sad. And this is like modern day Nazism. This is modern day Hitler, Nazi Germany, Trump in the United States today. And it's sad. It's absolutely sad and pathetic. And people that have supported him or vocally supported him, you guys are going to be blamed for this shit in the next couple years. What we see is going to happen very soon. And it's sad. It's just sad. I'm just thank my lucky stars. I live on this side of the border and with it as directly. Now we will have to deal with it up here too, unfortunately, and it sucks. I hate it so much. It's really really bad. Watch those Vince Carter highlights, Neil. Yeah, watch them. Kaz is saying good morning, game day. That's right, Kaz. Let's stay focused on what we are all about on the Raptor Freak channel, and that's Toronto Raptors basketball and a road trip that our guys are on right now. And that's right. Mike's saying that dunk over Tim Duncan is nuts. Yeah, I've forgotten about that dunk until they brought out the highlight reel events recently and just how much he goes up and over Tim. Now, Vince dunked on everybody, man. He had a really nice one on Mutombo too at a certain point. So yeah, he dunked on everyone. I mean, look at Frederick Weiss. Of course, this man's dunking on everybody. Everybody. Crazy, crazy. Yeah. Yeah, let's see. Where am I in the chat? No. Okay, here we go. Blackhawk saying still leaves people gasping today when you rewatch it. Logical Raptors fanatic. Yeah, the Vince Carter dunks are amazing. He truly is the greatest dunker in the history of the NBA. He really, really is. I mean, Dr. J and Michael Jordan both cede this to him. It's not like they try and argue their cases against Vince. They're very much like, oh, young man, you are the guy. I mean, it makes it easier for Jordan because he's UNC also, and it also makes it easier for Julius because Vince has always said Dr. J was one of his heroes and his biggest inspirations his whole entire career before he even got in the league. So in some ways, Vince Carter is the natural progression from Dr. J and Michael Jordan, but he just did really defy gravity. And it was crazy some of the stuff he would do. I mean, it was so fun to go to work back then because every single game he had at least one highlight that was just like, wow, wow. And it wasn't always a dunk, y'all. There were clutch shots that he hit that were very, very awesome plays also. And just athletic plays. It might not necessarily be a dunk. It could be a very sweeping kind of like finger roll or layup that could be very like athletic and awesome too. So yeah, there's so much out there. I like that there's been like 20-minute Vince Carter compilation highlight reels that have been coming out since the retirement on Saturday. And they're fun to watch. They're definitely fun to watch. Monique, here's MJ, Fiercey Salsera. Good morning to you in the Ottawa region of our great country of Canada. Good morning, fam, and happy game day. Young fellas, be ready for the Kings. Taunting them wasn't a good look. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, in some ways, is DeMar going to try and get some get back because of Drake's out of pocketness? I've seen the polls and I've seen most of what everybody's saying as far as with Drake versus DeMar. And a lot of people are firmly on the side of DeMar. A lot of people are firmly like, yeah, what is this clown Aubrey trying to do with this thing, with this? And that's very local minority of idiots that are just kissing Drake's ass. They're still jumping in and saying, "What did DeMar ever do? He never won. He doesn't deserve to get his jersey retired in Toronto. He doesn't." No. Listen, he does. He does. We all know he does. We all know he does. Matt's here. Good to see Matt E. How do you think Grady's role changes when Scotty comes back? Do you still think he'll have the ball as much? Yeah. And part of it is because he's so steady with his shot. He's just a bucket. And also, Scotty wants to get in on the fun that RJ and other people are having right now, setting up Grady for amazing shots and getting assists. We know Scott loves getting assists. And in some ways, these guys are probably, when they get back out there, they're going to really enjoy passing the ball to Grady and seeing that ball go through the net because they're getting those assists, whether it's Quickly or Barnes. I'm not worried about Grady getting his shots cut down because he's such an active player and moving around the court that they're going to find him and he's going to be getting them anyway, even if these guys come back and take some of the shots too. He's going to be an important part of our offense no matter what, because he's just money. And it'd be smart to continue to look for him and get production out of him, even when we're fully healthy. I think that he's ensconced himself as a starter for sure. That was something he did very quickly. In fact, he did in the preseason. And I'm proud of him for that because I was saying, that's not a position that is given to him right now, as far as he's going to be the starting shooting guard for the Raptors this year. That there could be some competition for that role, but no, he's blown it out of the out of the water, and he's leading his class in scoring now. He's ahead of Chet, so he's got a higher points per game average than anybody that got drafted that year, including Chet, who sat out the year before and has rookie year the same year as Grady. So yeah, this is fantastic, Matt. Thanks for your comment, and I hope you'll join us every morning, 9:30 a.m. talking Raptors every day. Nako's saying, I'm overtired and think that things are getting worse before better, and I still don't like what this means for Canada. Sigh. Yeah, the tariffs thing is really stupid. A lot of people based their vote apparently yesterday on grocery prices. Well, you don't like them now. You're definitely not going to like them in a year from now when he cuts labor by going after immigrants that do the cheap labor that keep the costs down. And then also, if he's going to do tariffs on countries like China and Canada with trade, well, you think those companies like want to pay those tariffs or have that? No, it's going to be put in the price, and the consumer will feel it also. Economics professors, economics experts, people that actually worked in his administration the first time have all said that his plan is so bad for our economy. Yet a lot of people that voted for him down there are citing that's the reason why they voted for him over Kamala, which is really crazy. It's absolutely stupid. So, well, you're going to get what you get, unfortunately. And unfortunately, we'll be uh, uh, feeling by the side of it. We'll be adjacent to it, and we'll probably see an increase in prices also, partly because of dumbass down there. So I'm scared about that. I mean, I'm not really scared. I'm just like, whatever. This is what it is. We got to live life on life's terms. We got to accept life as it comes. Well, I mean, this is dark and this is messed up, but in some ways, this is a great opportunity for us to practice living our own lives and controlling what we can control in our own lives. That's right. Infus saying General Salute is quickly playing today. I'm not totally sure. I would love for him to just miraculously show up and be dressed to play tonight. I would like him to. In some ways, he's enjoying being out too much, and you need to get out there, Emmanuel. In some ways, are you looking at your game total for the season and whether you can be qualifying for postseason awards and maybe higher contract bonuses or even better contract by doing certain things like getting out and maybe playing at an all-star level and getting to the all-star team? I mean, Emmanuel, where's the carrot in front of you to get back on the court and get out there and start getting games instead of DMPs? So, yeah, I mean, that motivation should be there for players that are on injury list. If they are in any kind of situation where they have to hit certain things on their contract to kick in more money, and that's for sure with Scott. I'm going to guess there's probably some provisions in Quickly's contract also that if he plays a certain amount of games in this, that he gets certain money bonuses also. So quick, man, get back quick is what we're saying, man. We're sick of this, man. We are sick of this. Yeah. Blackhawk saying, don't worry, Nako. Every little thing is going to be all right. All right, Bob Marley. I love that. I love that. Listen, at least we have each other. And that's something we have to say about a lot of things. Sometimes in these kind of things, you got to huddle up and get together and stay on the same page and just like kind of keep connected and looking out for each other. And that's the thing down in communities in the United States now. If you have a Hispanic family that lives on the street near you, you need to watch out for them and just kind of look out because they're going to be coming. It's going to be just like the Gestapo all of a sudden again. Knock on the door and you're going to see people dragged to police cars in their front yard and taken somewhere and separated from their children and stuff like that. There's going to be this kind of bullshit happening. Watch. This is what he promised. This is what the people wanted. They voted for it. Well, and sadly, you're going to get what you get. And the really sad thing, maybe some of these idiots that voted for him will have their lives ruined by him. And they'll regret that they voted for him. I still don't even understand how he got this number. I feel like there's something fishy going on. Something isn't exactly right. And there was definitely a lot of interference in this election. The fact that they were calling bomb threats into predominantly black counties in Georgia it just shows that these guys cheated like crazy to get the result that happened yesterday. There's all kinds of cheating going on every which way, whether it's the media manipulation, the social media manipulation of Elon Musk and how he tried to shape opinion and what was going on with really inundating it with bots and a lot of them from a Russian origin. So yeah, there's all this stuff has come out, and it's true. And in some ways, it's sad that misinformation, ignorance, uneducated is all winning today. It's really, really bad. It's really, really bad. Let's see. Glad to be Canadian. That's right. In some ways, it's like I picked the right side of the border. And yeah, I could live on either side of the border. And I'm like, yeah, it's a dumpster fire in the United States. It has been for a while. And I'm so glad that I live in Canada. I really am. And whew, oh my gosh. Yeah. No, she's saying no about quickly, not playing. Neil saying Bozo is around 78 years old. He doesn't have that much life to live, suffer for 4 years, and then God will take over. Well, if Vance goes into power, that's going to be crazy because he's got some crazy ideas. And I don't know. In some ways, I might actually like that better. Like it may be kind of like if Trump is the winner, it's not totally for sure. Although they're declaring it pretty heavy this morning. If he can't be president for like a year or so, they'll put Vance in that spot, and that would be weird to see and interesting to see how that would go. Because I don't think that Trump is cognitively able to be president right now. He's off his rocker right now, and some of the stuff I've been seeing from what he's saying and how he's acting, yeah, this would be like Ronald Reagan having Alzheimer's all over again in his second term. It'll be just like that. Yeah, let's keep going. Blackhawk saying VC put on a show. Yeah, we're gonna do some Vince Carter appreciation this morning. Infamous saying the one thing that is not mentioned about Vince is how clutch he was. Go check out his clutch shots. Logical. Yeah, he won some games very much for us. There's the one against the Clippers. It was absolutely badass. And he was clutch in the playoff games too. That's why it was so weird when he missed that shot against Philadelphia in that very crucial moment, because he was so money in those big moments and making them. And people will say it's because he went to his graduation, and that may be partly true, but we don't know for sure. There's also just like anything like what happened to RJ on Monday night. The shot just rims out, or it's just not meant to go in. But yeah, Vince had a lot of big shots that were dots that really helped the Raptors win some games while he was in our uniform, for sure. And he did it while he was on the Nets too. And that was one of the annoying things, was to see that clutch weapon, that amazing acrobat in the air, go to the Nets and do. Oh, that was so bad at that time. I hated that part so much. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Blackhawks saying I watched the video of the Raptors players watching Vince and being blown out of their minds. Yeah, that was a pretty cool video. Them reliving Vince sanity and looking at it, and it's like, oh, I hadn't seen this one. Oh wow, he went over Timmy. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was a great clip, wasn't it, Neil? There you go. Dana's got the Raptor pride. I love to see that. And Logical is saying, yay, for sure. VC was a superstar in Toronto. Yeah. Yeah, he was a superstar. He was our first mega star. He put us on the map in certain ways. Dakar of Music saying the audio's messed up. How's my audio messed up? You guys can hear me, right? If it's kind of like crinkly or something like that, but I see there's a reading. Hopefully it's coming through clear. Give me a thumbs up just in case. Thanks for the heads up, though, Dakar of Music. My mic sometimes is a little finicky. Infamous is saying Logical. I still don't respect how it left, but still a quitter, but never truly reached his potential due to lack of work ethic. I don't even know if it was work ethic. From some of the things that he'd been saying, it's the injuries that kind of like brought him down over time. Because he did work hard. It's just that he's tarnished with not trying hard in the last part of. Don't fool around with that, because you don't try hard. You kind of act like you're hurt just to kind of force your way out of Toronto. Well, then you have for the rest of your career injury problems, and you can never be exactly the same person. But credit to him. He kept his body in NBA shape for so long afterwards, even if he wasn't exactly Air Canada and doing all those things, to have such a long career. So it is weird. It's very, very weird, Infamous, that in some ways I don't see him as being like lack of work ethic this time. I look at it more as like injuries did kind of limit him in his second half of his career. Yeah. Kareem saying he was a racist and sexist to all minorities and women. How do people vote for someone who hates your being and culture? Okay, I'm done. I know it's mystifying to me too. I don't get it either. And honestly, the momentum and all the different things that were being said around here, the numbers just don't line up. I mean, are there this many backwoods rednecks just living? Because there's sensible people out there also, and it's just kind of troubling that there's so many people that are so stupid in the United States. Basically, whether they're stupid for themselves because of what you just described, or whether they're just stupid because they got duped by a carpetbagging shim sham man, just like snake oil salesman from like the 2 centuries ago. Like he's really what he is the modern day version of a guy who goes from city to city, scams everybody, and gets chased out of town, and then he goes to the next town to do it to the next people. But there's the internet now. We should all know what's going on with this. They should all be informing each other. It's not like you can be a snake oil salesman in today's society. You get sought out, and then people can tell each other before they show up. But no, not even with the education, even with the information available online, dumb people make dumb decisions no matter what, just because they're stupid. And they're easily manipulated with fear and other dumb bullshit is what it is right there. But yeah, people, minorities and women that voted for Donald Trump yesterday, you are fucking idiots, is what I'm going to say right now. You're fucking idiots. Mike's saying infamous fair, but in my opinion, it's like that for most stars on smaller market teams like AD and the Pelicans, etc. It's a common NBA story. Speaking of AD, it's come out on ESPN that he's hurt, and we're going to see them this weekend. He's aggravated his foot in an injury as the Lakers' road woes continue. This is an article on ESPN right now. And apparently, the Lakers have been outscored since the second half with the Raptors last Friday. We outscored them in the second half of our game with them, and they got outscored by Detroit in the game on Monday against them. So they're kind of reeling and in trouble. This may be the best time for us to go to crypto and play them this weekend, because it's very likely that Anthony Davis will not be available for the Lakers this weekend. Just a little heads up on that. Mike's saying classic card. All right, we'll move right along today. Why not? Why not? All right, let me get that classic card. Monique is helping me out today. I'm so happy about the great news about Monique's chair. It really, really is a bright sunshine on, well, a cloudy, dark day, honestly. Okay, this is so easy. I'm going to have to hold it back from you guys so you can't see it too close. Let's see. Where is it? All right, here we go. All right, y'all. First person to write in the full name. And that means 3 names, y'all. Don't mess around with me. Don't half-ass it, because there is 3 names on this one. Who is that? That's so easy. Write it in. You know who this is. That's right. This is too easy. Way too easy. You guys better write this fast, because I don't want to hold this card very long. We know who this is. You guys know who this is. I just gave the best click. Nick Van Exel? No, come on, Kareem. You see that jersey. That's right. Fiercey's got it. That's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, our guy for Team Canada. That's right. And she wrote it in, even if it's not totally correctly spelled, she at least wrote name. So that's Fiercey's to have. It's only going to be 100 points, because that's a very easy, it's not very much a card. But boy, is that a beautiful card. I actually might keep this one for my collection, because that's our guy for Canada. That guy's awesome. We love you, SGA. And yeah, Fiercey's going to get the classic card today. David, you're here. Okay, do you want to write it in, David? I'll write it in real quick. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. I see you, David. David, I wish you're doing well, and I hope that you're doing fantastic, my guy. And I appreciate what you do for the channel still on the trivia side of things. All right, there we go. Fiercey, 100 points for SGA. All right, there's the classic card, guys. Good stuff. Yeah, that was too easy. Honestly, that's way too easy. Let's see. Matt's saying, have you ever thought of doing a watch along during the games? Feel it would be nice, unless you watch with your family or friends. Matt, that's a great suggestion, and I have thought about it a lot. Some people have asked me to do it. You know what I do, Matt? I do Team Canada games watch alongs, but I don't do Raptor games. Partly it's because I do really enjoy watching the games, and to do a live stream at the same time of doing the games, I miss stuff, and it's a lot of work because I'm juggling like reading y'all's comments and commenting during the game and also watching the game. So for me to do the reactions the day after the game, I want to really pay attention to it, because I really watch the Raptors games very intently as far as what the refs are doing and what's going on the court, whether it's the stuff that's happening with the ball or off the ball or the coaches or the crowd or anything. So I feel like I'm too distracted. Plus, it's a long season. And with the Team Canada games, there's special games that come around every summer, every once in a while. I found watch-alongs with the Team Canada stuff with this guy we just had on the classic card is very fun. So if it's a Team Canada day when they're playing in the Olympics or the FIBA World Cup, I'll do watch alongs during those games, but not Raptors games. It's just too much work, and in some ways, I don't want to take away from enjoying the game. I don't watch it. I don't sometimes do watch it with friends and family, but not very often. But very often, it's me just very much wanting to take it in. Thanks for the suggestion, though, and I have very much thought about doing it, but not with the Raptors. Team Canada, though, next summer or whenever they play again. I don't know if they're playing next summer. Maybe I'll try out a watch along with the WNBA team when they start too. But yeah, I haven't done it with the Raptors. I haven't done it with the Raptors. Infamous saying no logical VC situation is different. He publicly came out and said he quit. AD never said that, and not other player has come out to the public and said that. Not comparison. Now this is exactly true, and this is why it's harder to forgive Vince, is because he's one of the only players in the history of the NBA or any sport, honestly, that has publicly admitted that they quit on their team. And that was part of the disrespect towards our franchise, that he looked down on us so much that he felt like he didn't have to be respectful as far as like keeping that secret. He openly bragged about it, and that was in it disrespectful to the Toronto Raptors franchise, that he thought so little of us that he's like, yeah, because in some ways it's just like a stock price or something like that. Our market value went down as soon as Vince quit on us because he was our top player. And then he had the balls to come on and say, yeah, I didn't try on purpose. That hurt us even worse and made us more of a laughing stock around the league. So the disrespect was really bad. And this is a very good point by Infamous about the difference. It's a very, very good point. Yeah. Vance is a drag queen undercover. Well, I mean, listen, I mean, we'll see. I mean, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. I understand that. And in some ways, me getting all upset and crazy about this and ranting and raving is not going to help anything. So, in some ways, part of what I try to do on this channel is to try to be a good leader as far as how we deal with Raptors related things. And well, when it comes to world current affairs and stuff like that, I want to do the same. So, yeah, we'll have to see what happens. In some ways, I'm not totally sure this is all exactly done, even though they are declaring the victory for Trump this morning. Stargate saying, good morning, Raptor Freak family. Please excuse me if I don't engage in any American election conversations. If there is two topics, I try to refrain from debating about our politics and religion. Okay, well, I'll respect that, Stargate. And please respect me to just have the forum. I once again, my views are my own, and some of y'all share them with me. But I'm not also trying to build a cult of personality where everybody has to think exactly the same as me. Now, in some ways, if somebody's coming from the other side and they want to gloat this morning, yeah, I'm going to shut you down real quick. But yeah, I'll respect that, Stargate. I'll respect that. Blackhawk saying, I can hear you. All right, good, good. Kareem saying, laugh out loud. Half of Nets tributes to VC will be Raptors highlights. He does have a pretty good highlight reel for them, too. He said it himself when he did interviews around his retirement game that his prime VC was on in the Nets jersey. He doesn't consider Raptors VC prime VC. He considers his years for New Jersey his prime of his career as far as his top level, as far as old enough to play at a certain level because he's not a rookie anymore or a young player, and also still in his prime athletically to be able to get up there and do stuff. There's a lot of highlights for the Nets too, but you might be right. You might be right. Cowboy saying, why are you skipping me? I that's the first comment I seen of yours. I don't know what you're talking about. Blackhawk saying, Flim Flam Man. That's right. The Flim Flam Man down there. Yeah. But good morning to you, Bradley. Monique saying, good seeing all the Raptors players post pics from week 1, Grady, O'Shea, etc. Yeah. Yeah, they're very supportive of each other. And Monique, on that tip, I'm going to go ahead and look at their Instagram real quick. First, we've got Jonathan Mobo. He's celebrating University of San Francisco here. He's tuned in. He's watching his alma mater play. That's pretty cool. Let's see. Jamal McGlure is this is something weird. When you meet all the Jamaicans, you must face the final boss. And there's like some guy dressed up like Morpheus or Viscera, or maybe even Blade. I'm not even sure what his Halloween costume is. And that guy's getting down. Jamal McGlure's Instagram's off the charts. And then there's some sort of garbage thing, package coming out. Pressure puts out like, what is that? Is that a game system that's broken? Man, UPS, you ain't doing your job right. That's crazy. Raptors official admin. There's O'Shea, there's Scotty, and there's Dick, and there's Brown, and then there's a Wubbs. So Raptors official admin putting on blast the different personal accounts of the Raptors right now. Wubbs putting Oshai on blast with a big dunk, showing his stuff there. Miles Burns showing some free throw stuff from the Mississauga and some of the coaching. He's talking about the way he shoots with his legs, comes up, and his form and how to shoot buckets. Got me right buckets. So you can learn how to shoot from Miles Burns on his Instagram stories. There's Ora Shamshe celebrating Jacoby Walter also on his Instagram. And there's Scotty and Jack Armstrong on Scotty's Instagram. Of course, all those Google Pixel ads that they filmed were all done at a certain time behind a green screen. So you keep seeing Jack Armstrong and Scotty sitting at a counter talking while people are on a basketball court, and they're like got Scotty's letters of his name painted on them in purple. Yeah, that was all filmed in one shot, and they're not actually interacting with those people. They're actually on the green screen studio. And, I think that Scott really does like working with Jack Armstrong. I feel like there's a bond between Jack and Scott because Jack is a really big advocate for both Scotty and Jonathan on the broadcast. And I know Scotty has said this on Twitch that he loves Jack Armstrong, that he's like his dude. And them doing so many commercials together has built a friendship between our color commentator and our franchise face. And that's pretty cool. I like that. Scotty also putting on blast Grady in his last 4 games, 30 points, 31 points, 22 points, and 26 points. Yeah, Grady's averaging over 20 points a game. I think he's at around 22 points per game right now currently. So, yeah, Grady, you're doing awesome. Just keep going, man. Just keep going. And Scotty's recognizing you, man. There he is, Grady himself, putting on blast his last game, 26 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. Yeah, very, very good stuff. Davion Mitchell putting on blast Wubbs, his rook, is one of his best friends on the team, Jacoby Walter, both of them Baylor players, and they share that connection. DJ Carton saying, real deal, go Grady. He's got Grady's stats on blast there. We got Slim Duck saying, how do you sleep at night knowing people don't like you? And he says, with the fan on. That's pretty funny. He don't care. And original Most Peterson, more pictures of his son at the game with him, the Vince Carter retirement game. So cool to see Mo Pete with the long dreads. Raptors 905 has a contest called 905 Hero. They want kids to nominate their teachers from school, and there's a contest that you can get your teacher to win. It's sponsored by Pizza, so maybe there's some pizza involved in it. So yeah, youngins that are proud of your teachers, put them into a contest with the Raptors 905, and who knows, maybe your class might be going to a 905 game as one of the rewards. Pascal extending the Halloween. He doesn't care if Halloween's over. He's got his second costume out. He was Andre 3000 last week. Now he's Leon, the professional, and he's putting that on blast. And people are like, man, you got to stop, Miro. You're just killing us in the costume game. And people are saying, yeah, it was Halloween last week, Pascal. What are you doing? There's your Instagram stories. We talking about Siakam. We talking about Grady Dick on the Instagrams. That's right. Infamous is saying, I stand on the work ethic issue. He admitted to not working out during the summer. Dude was hanging out with Bow Wow and other celebs. It's well documented. Okay. You know what? You're probably right. I mean, I only said this because I know that in some ways, he's been tainted with he didn't work as hard in his career. And there may be truth to it at certain times. He got all the glitz and glamour of being a top star in the NBA all of a sudden. And he was one of those guys that was like, I'm just friends with everybody. I'm an NBA guy more than I'm a Toronto Raptors guy. He was kind of like that. There's an interesting clip of Carmelo Anthony on one of the podcasts recently. And he's talking about when he came to play the Miami Heat and LeBron and Dwayne and Chris Bosh during that Heat era. And they coming out to the court, and Carmelo's playing for New York, and he wanted to say hi to LeBron and Dwayne because they're like best friends. And when he came out, they like said, no, we ain't talking to you. And he was like, what? He's like, why are you guys not talking to me? And he was like, it's like Heat culture, because Spoelstra had forbid his players from socializing with the other team in the warm-ups, walking around and stuff like that. You know what I'm talking about? And that Carmelo, and this says a lot about him. He's like, I didn't get that. That was so stupid. Like, why wouldn't the coach let my friends talk to me before the game? And like after the game, Dwayne Wade and LeBron came to Carmelo and said, yeah, Coach Spoelstra doesn't want us interacting with you guys because it's part of how we build our competitiveness with you. And if we're fraternizing with have the competitive edge is how he feels about it. And then like Carmelo's like, that's when I understood like heat culture is just something different. And then I was like, I thought it was a little extreme. I was like, well, I actually totally get why Eric Spoelstra does that. And I have respect for that. In fact, that's the old NBA. But jackasses like Carmelo Anthony and then Vince Carter being friends with the whole entire league ruined this kind of shit. So like, yeah, you know what? It's great to say hi to somebody. You can do it after the game, but sometimes it does bug me to see how much the teams are kind of dapping each other in the layup lines or the warm-ups before the game and visiting with each other and getting all chummy. You know, if this was the old era of Bird and Jordan and Isaiah Thomas and Red Auerbach and all that, this stuff would be frowned upon. And the coaches would be more like, yeah, we shouldn't be talking to the other team in the warm-ups ahead of time. But it became more of a players' league in 2000, and the players wanted to be doing whatever they want and talking to whoever they want. And I get it. Being an NBA player is a brotherhood that goes beyond the teams. But, you know, there is something to be said about the competitiveness of the Lakers versus Celtics in the 80s because of how Bird and Magic looked at each other. And Carmelo Anthony coming out recently and talking about how he couldn't understand heat culture and being like this. Well, it shows a lot about what was wrong with the NBA in his era as far as things. I mean, LeBron and Dwayne Wade are top level stars, and they listened to their coach Spoelstra, and they did not go and say hi to Carmelo Anthony in the warm up. Yeah, I thought that was very interesting. Very, very interesting. Randolph saying, beloved Raptor Freaks, most informative gang, blessings on this game day. Paths are created for you by others on which you must travel, yet you can still find your destiny. Keep moving forward. I like that. Randolph. You know, things are going to happen. Well, do what you can in your own sphere of the world and just try and do the right thing. You know, there's a lot of people out there not doing the right thing right now. There's a lot of people taking shortcuts. There's a lot of people cheating. There's a lot of people playing dirty. And it sucks because it sends a message and it degrades society in its values and its fairness, to be quite honest. And that's the scary thing about some of the turn of events in the last 24 hours. Does this embolden criminals? Does this embolden rapists? Does this embolden people that are like Trump? Yeah, maybe, because they're going to show a thing where he's getting rewarded, even though he's all these things I just named. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Kareem's saying, okay, that's the answers for the classic card. Good stuff there. Good guesses, guys. Good guesses. SGA was the right one. Let's see. And Fiercely saying, gotta go, fam. See y'all on the chat tonight. There you go. There you go. Happy for Mo. I'm very happy for Mo also. Kareem saying, shit, that's not a classic card of the day. It's a yesterday's card of the future. You want a dunk? That's a dunk because that's funny. That's a yesterday's card of the future. That's pretty funny. That isn't a classic card. You're exactly right, Kareem. I'm going to give you a 4-pointer. So you're at 425. 425 for our guy, Kareem Thomas. Let's see. Monique is saying, Jordan Bolton, you're always welcome to the North in reference to his Twitter post. Yeah, Jordan Bolton, seeing what happened last night with the election, say, I guess I'm moving up to Canada, man. I'm taking off Minnesota. I'm going to go to Canada. Well, you won't switch much for the temperature. And honestly, it's November the 6th, and it's beautiful outside once again. It's like 20 degrees. I could have done the stream outside once again because this isn't normal, like, weather for this time of year. And if that doesn't scare people and understanding the fossil fuel industry needs to end, yeah, I don't know what will. Because honestly, I mean, it's a great benefit for us. We're not having colder weather up here. Canada is not too cold anymore. It's just a byproduct, a positive byproduct of global warming and climate change getting more and more warm. Well, I'll take it. I'll work off the benefits, but it's scary because this is not natural. And in some ways, for good things happening for us, there's bad things happening somewhere else, climate-wise, for somebody else, even if we're getting much better weather deep into the fall, which is crazy. It's absolutely crazy, man. But yeah, Jordan, you're always welcome up here. We love you, King Bolton. And if you want to come live up in Canada, we'll have you, man. Seriously. Matt's saying, yeah, I feel that. I'm a big soccer fan, so it's easier to do watch-alongs for those games since there's a lot less going on. Fair. Yeah, and it's a couple different things. I mean, this NBA schedule is such a grind. Like, I'm doing previews and reactions every day, and you know, staying up to watch the game too in the middle of the night. It is a grind, and honestly, doing this stream is juggling between reading y'all's comments and thinking of what to say so quickly to talk to you guys and not have any breaks. Like some people do live streams and there's often a lot of pauses because they just have to collect their thoughts. So if I have to watch the game and process it and read what you guys are saying and process my thoughts, that may be too many balls for me to juggle at the same time. But Matt, man, I appreciate you being here, man. And I do take suggestions from you guys and evolve the channel off of some of the stuff you say. So I'll definitely do watch alongs for Team Canada when they happen. Yeah. Trevor's saying, be happy with the little that you have. There are people with nothing that still manage to smile. Yeah. Oh man, I just hope that the weak, the tired, the sick, the old, the poor get a chance in this thing that's about to come up. I mean, this dude literally said last week, middle class, you're gonna have to hurt for a while. That's just necessary for what we're gonna try and do next. It's crazy. They're going to give tax breaks to the ultra rich like Elon and Jeff Bezos, and they're going to tax the hell out of everybody underneath again. And I don't understand why people were so dumb to not realize this. It's so dumb. Anyway, I don't want to go on these tangents too much right now. I mean, it is very much in the forefront of everything that's happened now. So I'll do Leo's life tip since we got another life tip from Randolph already, and we got one from Trevor again. Know who you are, know what you want, know what you deserve, and don't settle for less. That's Leo's life tip for this morning. He's saying, know who you are and don't settle for less. All right, Leo, I appreciate that. The kid from Kiel, one of the best people in Canada because he taught us the sport of basketball. We love you, Leo. We really, really do. Mike saying everyone knew what the situation was, whether it's admitted after it isn't part of it. The agents blast all over Twitter that players want trades and they sit and they say I quit too, in my opinion. Well, that's why it was so disrespectful, Mike, that Vince said what was normally not said and just kind of hidden and talked about behind closed doors. I really do think it was because it was our franchise. Like if he was on the Lakers and the same situation happened exactly the same way, he would never go out there and say, I quit on the Lakers. Because think about what would happen with him with Lakers Nation. Time that Raptors Nation didn't have people that were proud or like stood for them. And we did. And he had that effect on people like us. And that's the thing that's the messed up thing is the fact that he actually publicly admitted it. And that's why I wanted the apology, honestly. If you could so publicly come out, Vince, and say you quit on the team and you didn't try on purpose to try and get the hell out of here, you could have easily come out and said to the press, I apologize for doing that because it was disrespectful to the Toronto Raptors franchise and its fans. That's where I wanted him to apologize. It was honestly on this very specific thing right here. The fact that he went public with quitting on us is he didn't have to do that. He could go public with an apology for quitting on us then. That's what I would say. Trevor's saying, Lex, I know you're not happy about Donald Trump is elected as president, but remember, God is still in control. He's still at the head of the table. That's what I'm going to rely on right now, Trevor. And I appreciate that reminder because, yeah, there's sometimes they have to say it has to get darker before the dawn. In some ways, you got to punish yourself before you realize I got to be motivated to come up against this and never let this happen. I thought the last time was enough for this, but apparently people didn't learn the lesson enough from the last time. So it is what it is. We'll put it all in the hands of God and hope that it all works out. I believe it will because he's in charge. How about that? Mike's saying everyone knew what the situation was, whether it's admitted after it isn't a part of it. The agents blast all over true. Oh, wait, I already read that one. UC saying, you think Grady will get an all-star bid similar to Kyle Korver with just elite shooting? You know what? I think he's better than Kyle Korver already. I think in some ways Kyle Korver it was really like ideal 3-point shooter and like money and stuff like that. But Grady's scoring in different ways than Kyle does. And he's more complete than Kyle. In some ways, Grady Dick being an all-star will be an all-star because he's an all-star, not a role player that just happened to have a really good year and got an all-star berth like Kyle Korver. So that's the way I look at it right there. I think that Grady, because of his cuts, because of the blocks and the rebounds and the defense he's playing, he's more fleshed out as a complete player than Kyle Korver was even already. It's crazy. Like I wouldn't have thought that. In some ways, Grady's way more athletic than Kyle Korver. And that's part of it too. Like Grady will throw it down more than Kyle Korver ever did, right? We've seen Grady get up there and throw it down. When did we ever see Kyle Korver get up above the rim and toss it down like that? That's what I'm saying. So I think that Grady will get an all-star bid, but it won't be anytime soon. He's got to show excellence at a high level, and the Raptors got to win. Let's just be honest here. And in some ways, there's guys on our team that are in line to get all-star berths ahead of him. Then he will. RJ may have to get his first one first, or IQ will have to get his first one first. And Scotty has to be in the picture for being a perennial all-star every single year. So Grady could get an all-star during his career. And if he does, it won't be in the way that all-around scorer that's a top-level player in this league. So, yeah, Infamous saying, I'm trying to stay out of the politics banter, but it's easy to explain why she lost. Won't do it on this channel. All I will say, she didn't read the room. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of things talking about her stances on Palestine were like really too middle of the road. There's quite couple of things that she did to turn off some of the left leaning voters. But still, I don't understand these jabronis. You got to understand, this isn't like we get like a bunch of different choices. And people that are apathetic and didn't go because they didn't like either of the choices, well, you're just to blame too. And that was me in 2016, to be honest. I didn't vote for Hillary, and I regret it to this day. And I thought because they're like he's a joke and she's obviously going to win. Well, I suppose too much. And in some ways, that's what happened again. Never underestimate how much America hates women. That's the message I got yesterday. That's what I got. Monique saying, be ready when the Raptors are healthy. NBA Garrett Temple on Raptors show in reference to his words, learning to win. There you go. I didn't see the Raptors show with Garrett Temple on there. I didn't watch that. But yeah, when we're healthy and the way that things are looking right now with the youngsters and the way they're playing without IQ and Scotty, yeah, we're going to be dangerous. We're going to be competing, and we can steal wins against teams that people don't think we have any business beating. And I'm all about that. I'm all about that. Trevor's saying Delano scored 20 points in 12 minutes in the fourth quarter last game. Yeah, I saw some news about Delano Banton and Chauncey Billups had figured out closer like kind of situation with the Portland Trailblazers. That's really interesting. I mean, in some ways, we saw the flashes of Delano being an absolutely unstoppable offensive player because his great mix of quickness with his long length of his lanky body. And well, he's putting it to use. And that's pretty cool. And also, I'd heard that Delano had been getting DMPs up until then. And he came out and wowed everybody after not really playing a whole lot in a couple games before that. So I'm very happy for our guy, 45 Bus, Rexdale. Success for a Torontonian and Canadian like Delano is success for our whole country. So you keep going, Delano. You still got us on your side, man. We love you, man. Daniel Barry's here. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to you, Daniel. Check out Daniel Barry's Sports Highlights, his YouTube channel. Infamous saying this is going to be a revenge game. Expect the Kings to come at us hard. Yeah, I want to see what the energy is going to be like from DeMar specifically. I mean, this whole Drake DeMar thing became very like in the forefront in the media, talked about a lot. In some ways, I wouldn't blame DeMar for coming out at us with a little bit extra oomph just because of Drake's disrespect. And in some ways, that's part of the reason why I'm mad at Drake too, is because not only was that self-serving, as you know, Lou Williams came out on a podcast this week with Beetle and said, yeah, what Drake did was selfish. It was selfish and self-serving and doesn't help anything. And he's connected to the Raptors in official capacity. He should be saying shit like this and doing stuff like this. This man wrote a song about this man, and he's dissing him and saying it was selfish and really wrong what Drake did in the game on Saturday. That's Lou Williams, the sixth man. And you know, that's a dumb thing. Your own feelings, Drake. And in some ways, you're not thinking about pissing off DeMar DeRozan, so he's going to come around and kick our ass tonight when you do something selfish like what you did in the Saturday game. Really, really dumb. Really, really, really dumb. Really, really dumb. Mike saying people are pushing that Golden State might trade Kuminga and Wiggins for Butler. I don't know how I feel about it. You mean for Jimmy Butler? You got to elaborate. That's a very common last name. Mike, you can't half-ass me on names. Wiggins? You mean Aaron Wiggins from Oklahoma City? You know, I know Kuminga and Wiggins. I thought that Wiggins was doing pretty good for the Warriors so far. I don't know. I'm not paying attention to the Warriors right now, but that's interesting. Jimmy Butler in a Warriors uniform, that would be weird. Be very weird. Him and Steph Curry together. I don't know how much they've been pals in the past already. I don't think I've seen signs of a close friendship between Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry. I don't know. Interesting idea. Of course, we don't do trade machine here. Monique saying, don't forget to limit comments for Lex. Thank you, Mo. Thank you. I mean, I don't mind talking about it. In some ways, this is therapy. Give me a distraction. We'll talk about the game. We'll talk about basketball. Infamous saying that trade would show that Golden State wants to win now and doesn't want to waste Curry's prime. Logical. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that being true. I mean, Draymond will still be around, and they'll have a grizzled vet crew that's a little older now, and the time is running out. Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green together. That's interesting. Buddy Hield would still be there. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Mike's saying Kaminga could be a rival to Scotty on his timeline. I don't know. I don't want Miami to be on our timeline. Orlando, Cavs, Pistons are seeming like the comp at the moment. Yeah. I don't know. Cleveland's looking so good with their 7-0 and start and just killing it right now. I mean, Kenny Atkinson's been a real breath of fresh air and getting them going. It seems like he's picked up where he left off with people like Karis LeVert and Jared Allen on the Nets. It's really probably very helpful that he had a prior relationship with a couple of the Cavs from coaching them on the Nets. That's probably been very helpful to him. You know, Jared Allen could come to the other guys and say, yeah, we had a coach in Brooklyn, and this is what he likes to do, and kind of give everybody kind of ready for Kenny in some ways. But yeah, great results for the Cavs. As much as I'm a hater of their team, I have to show respect for an undefeated season so far. I really do. Let's see. Mike saying VC gave the respect to admit what everyone knew. People these days use against and family members to say negative things like Kawhi quit and Dennis was the message to say Uncle Dennis. Yeah. I mean, there were times where Vince acknowledged the animosity between Toronto fans and him pretty much over the last 15 years. He talked about his aunt who came to the game with him the first time he came and returned to Toronto as a New Jersey Net, and his aunt was in the stands fighting with Toronto fans, like verbally. People were booing him, and she was yelling at them for booing him and all this kind of stuff. I mean, what do you expect, Vince? What do you expect, anti-Vince? Seriously, people are going to be anti-Vince because of how he exited. That's why anti. I mean, come on. What do you expect? Stargate saying De'Aaron Fox will try to put his stamp on this game because the Kings fans have been giving it to him lately. But in my opinion, I see chemistry issues between Fox, DeMar, and Monk. Yeah, there were a little bit of signs of that in the first game. I saw it between Monk and DeRozan in some ways. In some ways, Monk and DeRozan kind of fit some of the same categories of things to do. And I don't know if they're totally a fit. Now, De'Aaron Fox is hurt on the down low, and that's part of the reason why he hasn't been playing well in the last few games. I saw an article come out after we played them saying that he's having some injury issues right now on the down low, but he's still playing. So that could be part of why he's had a bad start to this season. His shooting percentage is not good right now. Now, I don't want it to get any better tonight. So continue to not play well, De'Aaron. That's what I'll say right there. Cowboys saying, wow. Wow. Okay. Mike's saying agents. Okay. I don't know what that is. Agents. Oh, is that from your last one when you said agents? Cowboys saying, let's go, Darko. Make the Raptors great again. That's what I'm all about. The Darko era. And he's saying Raptors by 15 plus tonight. I'm all about that, Cowboy. I like that. Yeah. I don't know. You know, all the games we're winning have been close, and all the games that we've been losing have been close. Getting double-digit losses or victories, they just don't seem like they're going to happen right now. It seems like the margins are always going to be like within 5 or something like that. Is not good for us because we need the lead to really make sure we get the win. But yeah, and then the close games, because of our inexperience, well, we're likely to lose because the other team may be more knowledgeable of how to close an NBA game to make sure you win. So, see, that's the thing. I wish I could predict double-digit wins for the Raptors right now, but I don't know if it's realistic. It seems like the games are really tight and close. And with that crew chief tonight, Ed Malloy, yeah, if they want the Kings to win tonight, he will decide who wins the game. You know, in some ways, we're going to just have to say Ed Malloy is going to decide who wins tonight. And, well, he may help us and let us win for some reason. For some reason, they may be, like, trying to punish the Kings for some reason. I don't know. Stargate saying, okay, another one of my comments got deleted. This is, like, the 4th time in a week. Something is definitely going on. Which comment is it? I see one. I'm going to go back and review and audit. I see one comment before that one. And there's the Good Morning Raptor Freak family. Please excuse me if I don't engage in any American elections. And that was your first comment. So I've only seen 3 comments on here, Stargate, as far as things. And I don't have the top chat option on there. I have the full comments I can see option. So that's interesting. So you have 3 comments on here. How many comments did you write already this morning? Because I want to get to the bottom of this. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. Let's see. Let's see. G saying, let's go Raptors. Let's go 2-0 against the Kings. I like that, G. Good to see. Original Raptor Freak Trivia Champion, G. Awesome to see. Mike saying YouTube has been acting up today. Okay. That could be part of it. My internet's not the best out here, too. I changed internets when I moved out here, and I'm not happy with it. I think we're gonna have to upgrade sooner than later, and I haven't upgraded yet. Like last month, it got to a certain amount that it allows me to go with my internet, and I kind of got capped, and that may have hurt my stream quality a little bit last month. Try and see if I can fix it by getting updated. Yeah, Cowboys saying, "Yep, G." And Matt saying, since the Anunoby trade is coming up on being a year soon, looking back on that trade, how do you feel about it? Would you say we won that trade? Yeah, for sure. And I think that Knicks fans are actually admitting that at this point too. When we did the trade, it was very even looking. And really, part of it was the immediate benefits that the Knicks got from Anunoby were translating into crazy winning. And they felt so good that I knew that this stuff we were going to get was going to come later. And that was after RJ and Emmanuel were more set with Darko's plans and learning the system of Darko. You know, we're seeing it with RJ right now, but with Emmanuel out right now, we're not seeing it with him yet. But when he comes back, then they can do the math and they'll be like, okay, we got OG and Precious for RJ and Emmanuel, but we also got a draft pick out of it too. And I think that draft pick was like Mobo or something. It was either Mobo or Shed or one of those draft picks. So in the New York trade, you could basically say that Malachi Flynn was one of our second round picks this year too. So yeah, when you trade Malachi Flynn for one of the very useful first year players we've got on this team, yeah, we won that trade not only with just Malachi over that pick over Malachi, but also Emmanuel or RJ over Precious. And then OG, you know, they're complaining because he's not scoring enough for them. Well, what did you expect? He's a defensive player. In some ways, he's going to be defense first, and you guys got so many other people want to score. Well, OG doesn't need to score. So if you're going to look at his price tag and how much money y'all paid him this summer, and you're going to look at his price, his output and scoring, yeah, that's not going to line up in a way you're going to be happy about in New York. I'm just going to say that. But yeah, some of the Knicks fans are starting to come around already, and they're seeing RJ and what he's doing right now and averaging like 28 points per game, and like, damn, why? Whoa, RJ's playing so good now. What is going on here? And then yeah, just wait till Emmanuel comes back and you see what he starts doing for us. Then New York fans are going to be just like kind of like, oh man, they're going to have trade regret. Now, I feel like they're going to have trade regret for all 3 of the big moves they've done this year, whether it's Anunoby, whether it's Mikal Bridges and the picks they gave up to Brooklyn to get him, or Cat and losing DiVincenzo and Julius Randle. They're going to have a little bit of like buyer's remorse on all 3 of them. In some ways, it looked like Leon Rose is just being a very active, aggressive GM, but maybe a little too aggressive and not thinking about everything that he's given up to get what he's getting. In some ways, they were after Anunoby for like 2 years now. And they finally landed him. But at what price? 2 starters, it looks like, and 2 potential all-stars and 2 very high-quality players is what it is right there. Great comments from Matt today, man. I appreciate that, man. Stargate said, oh, you know what, Lex? I suspected Fox was injury. He just seemed a step slower. Yeah, there's something with his ankle, I think. He's a step slower in his but yeah, they were saying that he's been battling an injury on the down low. Cowboys saying, I hear you, Stargate. Yeah, if there's any more comments missing for you, Stargate, let us know, please. Seriously, and just keep diligently writing them in, and I'll read them. It's not me. If it is anything, it's YouTube or internet connections doing something weird. We know that. Trevor's saying, I know the player whoever tried to stop Grady and chasing him wrong have to be very tired after the game. Yeah, I mean, chasing Grady around on the court is annoying and probably very tiring for the person who has to guard him. It's kind of cool to see him go against, people from his alma mater like Christian Brune and Jalen Wilson. And yeah, Jayhawks Nation has really been reveling in the Christian versus Grady and Oshai matchup that we've had with Denver the last 2 times in the last week or so. They've really enjoyed that. And there is a different kind of come to at each other between Christian and Grady when they're guarding each other and they have to the matchup against each other. Because there's a lot of familiarity. Let's just put it that way. In fact, in the first Denver game, Christian threw it down on Grady as kind of like a trash talking moment. I saw that. And then Grady would shoot a three against him and talk trash backwards. So there's a little bit of Kansas Jayhawk jawing at each other, just a little bit right there. Yeah, Cowboys saying, what's wrong with freedom of speech? Yeah, freedom of speech is great. It's just, sometimes it needs to be responsible. You're not supposed to yell fire in a crowded theater. Let's just put it that way. Sometimes it's better to not necessarily be right or out there and just be just and kind of like also kind of like thinking of other people. You can go around and just be an asshole and tell everybody what you think. And in fact, I struggle with this because I can't have a filter sometimes. That is a big part of what I get into conflict with people in my life is that I have no filter and I just say exactly how I feel about things. But there is something called tact, and kind of like humility, and kind of also kind of like even if something's true, you don't need to say it because it's hurtful. And that's the kind of thing that I would say about that. Shaq saying, I love OG, but he's just a spot up shooter. Yeah, his offense is limited in certain ways, but his defense is unparalleled. And he was asked recently, do you think there's anybody too big or too fast in this league that you can't guard? And he said, no, I think I can guard everybody in this league. And that means he can guard Embiid. That means he can guard somebody like Trae Young, who's so quick. So I think that's pretty cool. OG's awesome. I'm not going to disrespect him. But yeah, New York lost that trade. And you know what? I'm just glad OG's getting paid. And he's doing well on another team. But I'm very happy with what we got in return from the Knickerbockers earlier this year. That's right. I'm very, very happy about that. Mike saying RJ Quickly and Mobo for OG Precious and Flynn. Yeah, you won. Yeah, we got Jonathan Mobo for Malachi Flynn. Look, just think about that. I think Jonathan Mobo's done more to help us win games just in the 6 or 7 games we played so far than Malachi did over the 3 years he was with us. Seriously, just seriously think about how much usefulness we're getting out of Jonathan already. And that's who we got for Flynn, basically. Isn't that crazy? Trevor's saying, going to get the early start today, going to hang out in Beverly Hills. That's right. Trevor is in California right now. And he's getting ready to go to our games on Friday and Saturday night, the back-to-back with the Clippers and the Lakers. And Trevor will be in the house representing the RFF for both those games. Thank you, Trevor, for going there and representing the Raptors Nation on the road in the great state of California. That's right. It is a great state. That's right. Stargate is saying, I had a comment right after Trevor Jay's Delano 20-point comment, and just before Daniel Barry was about this team with a healthy starting line and healthy bench. It's at least a 500 team. Okay, thank you for repeating and being patient with this, Stargate. The other time this happened, see, we just had a connection break just now, was somebody's internet wasn't actually sending stuff through. You know how you can text someone and the text fails? So maybe on your end, some of those comments you put through didn't go through for whatever reason because of either your internet or maybe even my connection out here. But yeah, I'm glad you repeated this. So you had a comment after the 20-point comment and just before Daniel Barry. It was about this team with a healthy starting lineup and a healthy bench. It's at least a 500 team. Yeah, at least a 500, if not beyond that. And I really do think that, like, one of the signs that's really promising for this Raptors team is that we have options to help us in close games at the end in clutch ways. Like, we haven't had a weapon like Grady ever. A weapon like Grady is such a money shooter and so unflappable in like pressure situations. He's going to pay off big time in the future. Gary Trent Jr. would have his moments where you hit a very clutch shot late with a big three, but Grady is somebody I have completely more confidence in to do these kind of things. Plus, RJ has shown a real want to shoot clutch recently, obviously, with him taking these big threes right at the buzzer to try and win for us. He's not afraid of that. IQ, same thing. And even Scotty is going to want to do clutch shots and take it over and try and win the game with like either a close shot in the post or a big three from outside. The fact that we have 4 really good options for clutch time kind of scoring, and they're all very capable scorers that can get these shots to go and very young is very promising for the future. In the past, the guy I would say that we had for that was Kyle Lowry or Fred VanVleet. And the other guys I would never, ever counted on as wanting to step up in the last couple minutes to take us home with a victory by absolutely hitting big shots. Well, now we have 4 candidates that are very viable and very talented in their own different ways to try and take over and make big clutch shots. That's something that's very different than even the championship. I mean, the championship Raptors had Kawhi and Kyle and Fred, and to an extent Siakam too. But the years after the championship, it was hard for us to find heroes at the end of games other than the name Red Van Vliet to do these kind of shots to help us win. So I'm excited about this. I'm excited about the prospect. And because we have viable options, a couple of them, we can keep them guessing. This isn't a thing where Lou Williams is going to take the big shot at the end like Casey did for that year when he was on our team. No, we got an option. They may think it's Grady, but then again, IQ shooting a three instead. Or they may think it's IQ or Grady, and it's Scotty or it's RJ. So I like having options and guys that are willing to step up and try and be clutch in close moments at the end of games. Forecasting all four of those guys are those kind of guys. And that's very, very good. Very, very, very good. Shaq Lindsay saying spot up shooter on New York. RJ's just a better. Yeah. RJ's passing has been phenomenal recently. I really enjoying it. And in some ways, Knicks fans are like, why didn't we get RJ to pass more on our team like that? Why didn't we? UC saying that Knicks fans are never patient with their young players. I don't remember the last homegrown talent with their team. That's part of it right there. And that's totally true. You can look at the line of young Knicks players that kind of were there. They got chased out of town and now they go somewhere else like RJ and boom, they just blow up. Yeah, this is a great comment. And yeah, the impatience of the Knicks nation, it bleeds into the press and it bleeds into the front office. And then all of a sudden, Leon Rose is over trading. You had the right mix at the end of the year last year with Hartenstein and the composition of your team then, but you missed out because you didn't value Hartenstein as much as you should, and you didn't nail him down absolutely for sure. And that's why the Knicks are going to struggle way more this year than they should have because they had figured it out last year. They had it, but they lost it because they went overboard with doing more trades. It's really dumb. It's really, really dumb. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's an old saying, and that means something, New York fans. Seriously, it ain't broke. It wasn't broke at the end of the year last year. You just need to wait for people to get healthy. Well, y'all really had to get Mikal Bridges. Well, you screwed up the recipe when you did that. Cowboys saying later, Lex and Raptor Freaks. Love y'all. Have a great and safe day. Let's go, Raptors. Whoever blocked me, my comments, 2-finger salute. Good job. I don't know. Did you have comments too that didn't show up? I saw that comment when I saw you first there. Some ways people that come in early and make comments, if you made a comment earlier, sometimes they get erased before I come on the stream if you did make a comment earlier. So, Cowboy, I apologize if some of your comments are missing. There's just something weird going on if it's happening to Stargate and you. And I don't know who it is. It's not any moderator because I'm not seeing anything getting deleted. It's not even showing up. I'm reading everything that I see. Yeah. Raptors get a big W tonight. That's what we want, Bradley. That's right. A big W for the Raptors tonight. That'd be awesome. That'd be very, very nice to see. Carlos saying, I have an LGBTQ friend in the U.S. celebrating the Donald win. It's really baffling. Well, I mean, it is what it is. In some ways, these people will have to find out tough lessons on their own. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy to me, Carlo. Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. Either way, in some ways, it's not my problem. And you know what? I'm just going to live my Canadian life in the woods and just, be grateful for what I've got. Honestly, it just goes back to what Trevor was saying. Be grateful what you got because some people don't have what you got. And well, I'm going to count my blessings on what I've got. And that's a residence in outside the United States. Thank God. Cream saying the Knicks could have kept quickly for half the price we paid. They didn't value their players well. Well, in some ways, quickly wanted the job, and we know he's a starter caliber point guard, and he was never going to get that with Brunson. So in some ways, they knew the writing was on the wall, and they were going to have to choose between Brunson and Quickly. And well, they really like Brunson. Brunson's like their franchise player, and they're really all centering everything around him. So in some ways, there was nowhere for Quickly to go with the Knicks organization. And well, he's in a very good position now, and I'm sure he's not happy. He's not unhappy about it because he's going to get to run the Toronto team and be a starting point guard and make that salary that he wouldn't have made in New York. I think that they do have regret about losing Quick for sure. But Knicks fans are unrealistic and greedy when they think about who all they can retain. It's the same thing. I mean, I would love to have Pascal and OG right now, but the money just doesn't fit in today's salary cap. And you have to make tough decisions. And you also have to think about how your puzzle pieces fit and how they're going to go together with each other. They can't pay 2 point guards on the Knicks starting point guard salaries. They can't do it because they got to pay Cat. They got to pay OG. There's a lot of money invested in the Knicks franchise, and putting so much money at one position, it just quickly had no path to stay with them. No path at all. Shaq Lindsay saying, despite the loss, Darko has their team playing better than previous years. Yeah. Yeah. The offensive stats are off the charts. This is the highest scoring Raptors team in the history of the Raptors in the 30 years. We have the highest scoring average right now. Nick Nurse's team always averaged like 95 to 100 points per game. And we're averaging like 120 points per game this season so far. The scoring is off the charts. And we're not struggling to get baskets, which is fantastic. We really did do a rebuild and a strip down of this team to get it more offensive oriented. And with a very smart trapping system with point of attack defenders like Mitchell and Shed, we can do things on defense and still be very effective on the defensive end. But we've upgraded our offensive tools with people like RJ and Grady and Emmanuel. So, yeah, this is a great thing. Honestly, this is so awesome. And I love the beautiful passing system and the cuts and the way that we're finding baskets is just so pleasing and nice to watch. It's like those things you watch on YouTube, like somebody's cutting ice or doing something, and you just get such a nice feeling of fulfillment from watching them cut the yard or something like that. They're mowing the lawn, and you're like, oh, that feels so, some reason that's very appealing. Well, the Raptors offensive system gives you that same effect. It's kind of like, oh, this is very appealing and very fulfilling to watch the beautiful passing and then the great outcomes of scoring. The other thing that's a real telltale sign that Darko's doing a good job are the plays after timeouts and inbounds plays. They're very much executed to a T. And the players are students, and they have a lot of trust in Darko at this point. You can tell because they're seeing success in his instruction. And, when they see things like, oh, Darko told me to do this, and then boom, I get this really nice, easy curl shot, Grady Dick. I'm going to listen to him more and buy in more and more about what he's saying. Sometimes one of the hardest things an NBA coach has is to juggle the egos of his team into buying into what he's trying to sell to them as far as what the team should be doing as a team plan. And Darko doesn't have this issue. These guys are willy-nilly. You can tell Scott to do one of the craziest things in the world, but because of his track record of success and what he's been getting out of the plays on the court, Scotty be like, this doesn't totally make sense to me, Darko, but I'm going to trust you. And we're going to go this way and see what you're saying and see if it'll work. That's awesome. The trust for Darko with the players is at a high level. And, we don't know how much trust there was in Nick Nurse in his last year when he was coaching us. It was weird, man. Things were really weird at that time. Really weird. Really, really weird. Cowboys saying Messiah's a draft king. Let's go. Yeah, even though that's saying that one of those betting companies, yeah, he is a king of drafting. Doing a good job of scouting players and getting very good talent anywhere he drafts. It doesn't matter what position or number. This dude's going to find a good player no matter what. Trust in Messiah. That's right. Mike saying, I treat people the same no matter what they believe. I don't subscribe to everything they believe, but they are human and have a capacity for improvement. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping too. But, I want to say this real quick. There is a very strong ploy by the right-wing governments of both countries to dumb us down. They don't want to invest in education because they understand dumber people are easier to control. And I really feel like this is a big part of what happened last night with this U.S. election is that so many uneducated people, really stupid people, and it's because the school systems fail these people. In some ways, they don't put money into education because then people stay dumber and they're easier to control like sheep. And that's a sad thing. That's why we need to reject PC leadership in Canada, because they will take the funding away from our public schools and they'll tell us we need to invest it in private schools. Well, private schools shouldn't be getting public funding. No, they shouldn't, because in some ways, private schools can exclude people from being there. And often they're serving people that are, already privileged and well-to-do. And the schools that need the funding are the public schools in the lower income areas of the city. And that's part of the problem. We should be funding free education for our youth because we are only as good as how smart and innovative and talented as our young people are. And if we're not teaching the young people correctly, we're educating them on a high level, we're going to fall behind the rest of the world. Places like China and India will do better with their innovation and their invention, and they will do better as countries because of this. This has already been a problem for years and years. North America has not invested in education the same way as other continents have, and we're behind on all kinds of parameters as far as our intellect and innovation and what we're doing. It sucks. It's sad, and it's very much part of the game plan to try and ensure more victories for people like Trump in the future by making people stupid as fuck, by not funding schools. And that's a big, big problem right there. It's a big problem, Mike. It's a big problem. Shaq Lindsay saying the ball movement is exceptional. Yeah, it's so beautiful to watch. And it's just so refreshing to see that extra pass and that absolutely open shot. And then they nail it. That's the other thing. We would see with Nick in the last year, they'd pass the ball all around and it'd move all around nice. And then Gary would miss the shot at the end of it or something like that. That was annoying. In some ways, you go through all that work, the beautiful passing and the cutting and stuff like that, and then you come up empty just because the person didn't execute the shot and they missed it. Yeah, this is the NBA. This is the high level. You could get to this league, you better make your open shots. And there are way too many missed open shots in the last few years of Raptors basketball. We won't change that this year. That's right. Raptors for life. That's right. Cowboy, just like the NWO, Raptors for life, my guy. Raptors for life. NWO for life. For life. Jillian's here. Good to see Jill. Good morning, Miss Moody. Miss Moody. Morning, freaks. Good morning to you, Jill. I hope you're doing very well this morning. Most saying the GoFundMe page is moving my MLSC by MLSC. Check it out. I'm so happy. There you go. Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you, Giants of Africa office. And thank you, MLSC, the Toronto Raptors, Masai Ujiri, Bobby Webster, Dan Tolzman, Teresa Resch, everybody for the generosity you're showing to your super fan, Monique Lawrence. If there's anybody who's deserving of help from the Raptors in this kind of way, it is Monique Lawrence. And I just love a good, happy story like this. This is a bright, bright, bright story. Very, very bright story. And I love it so much. Mo, you deserve it so much. And well, we'll have to see what the chair looks like when you get it. And you'll have to show it to us. We want to see it. G. Sam, Miss Moody. Yes, the ball movement has been beautiful. The cutting to the net and the three-point shot have improved. Yeah. We're not totally reliable as a three-point shooting unit overall as a team so far this year, but certain individuals are. Certain individuals are. And Kelly comes back, IQ comes back, Scotty comes back. That three-point overall as a team will improve and be more reliable. In some ways, Grady is the most reliable three-point shooter for us right now, but who knows? Jacoby could start being in the next month or so. When we get RJ's been pretty good from three recently also. But yeah, we're losing in the three-point matchup against the other teams quite often. They're making more than us, and they're shooting a higher percentage. But there are signs that the Raptors' three-point shooting can increase and get better and progress as the season goes, especially from injury returns. That will be a big part of it right there. Infamous saying the difference is RJ on the Knicks was a win now team. On the Raps, he's able to play through his mistakes because we are rebuilding. RJ doesn't really make a lot of mistakes. That's one of the cool things about him. That's why it was so surprising to see him and Grady get those 2 turnovers late in the game against Denver on Monday night, is because they've done such a good job of taking care of the ball. And a lot of RJ's passes have been really on the money and straight to the person and just very successful in them getting the shot. And I mean, I love how RJ goes to the lane and he just flips it some which direction and he knows where they are. And boom, all of a sudden Grady's shooting a 3. He draws so much attention when he comes barreling down the lane, and he's really got eyes in the back of his head for passing it to a 3-point shooter, whether they're behind me or they're to the corner somewhere there. I really like that. Carlos saying RJ having that hard-nosed mentality instilled by Tibbs and then getting unleashed by Darko with motion offense is fantastic. Yeah, we're seeing Darko development in all of our guys, and RJ is another one. In some ways, we can give credit to RJ's hard work ethic and his dead guidance of what Darko sees he could improve on and be more helpful for the Raptors. That's the great thing. You can tell somebody go out there and get better as a basketball player, but if you don't tell them specifics, you don't tell them reasons, if you don't have a whole big picture of the idea of the whole giant thing and how this little bit of work that this individual player will do this summer with their mechanics and this individual, this specific area,
those pieces all add up, and then boom, all of a sudden you've got something like the clockwork that's running on our offense right now. So RJ probably had like we said, a very specific guide for what he should work on this summer, and we're seeing the benefits of it once again. All these guys had a guide this summer. It's so awesome. Mike's saying, "Congrats, Mo. You deserve it for sure." Yeah, we're very, very happy about this. This is fantastic. And once again, I'm really proud of people from this channel contributing and helping out Monique with this GoFundMe to help her get a new chair. This is such an important thing for her, as far as for her to live a full life and be able to go out and go to places and stuff like that. The old chair was just not reliable anymore. And in some ways, she needed this chair ASAP. And well, it's good to see her people come through for her. Jill saying, "Hi, peeps. Yes, Lex, I value Canada. There will be elections, recounts, and investigations and reruns. The final decisions will take 3 months. Cheers." Jill, that's music to my ears. In some ways, I don't know and if we can get something going here where there are a whole bunch of ballots that are found that somebody threw somewhere that were absolutely in a criminal way, whatever. In some ways, I'm not going to be like the other side. If it is actually a victory for him at some point, absolutely for sure, and the right people are saying it, the people that are on the level and on the up and up, I'll accept it. But in some ways, I'm still holding out that there's some sort of crazy miracle comeback like a Raptors team would and come back and we win by 1 or something like that still. And Kamala is still going to be the president, because there is still a chance of this. Don't get it twisted. The media may be declaring this, but we know the media is no good anymore. In some ways, they go to the highest bidder. It was evidenced by Bezos's decision with the Washington Post. And even the way the New York Times was handling the election coverage last night was not responsible. So I don't totally trust the big newspapers and CNN or MSNBC or Fox, any of these big corporate news entities that in some ways they are compromised because they're owned by people like Rupert Murdoch and Jeff Bezos. And these guys are not about truthful information. They're about manipulating reality through their papers at this point. So in some ways, I just want to see everything come out on the up and up, and I'll live with the decision, whatever it is. But I want to make sure it's fair and there's no cheating. And there's definitely been cheating. Oh my gosh, those bomb threats and people lighting voting drop-off places on fire. Stuff happening, man. Really, really screwed up. Let's keep going. Shaq Lindsay saying idea is less is more. Having exceptional role players rather than superstars with inflated egos might be bad for our team. Just look at the Bucks or New Orleans. I totally agree with this. In some ways, you want to have a hierarchy of things, and Scotty's a nice person to have in that top spot. And then, RJ and Emmanuel right underneath him as the next 2 leaders in the barbecue. And then you start getting into Jakob, Grady, Kelly Olynyk, Garrett Temple. It's important to have hierarchies. In some ways, you have too many superstars. This is why I'm thinking Philadelphia's season's in trouble, just like Milwaukee's. I think Paul George is not going to add to the picture in a positive way. In some ways, he may just make that circus in Philadelphia even worse with his own kind of baggage and all kinds of things. So, yeah, I mean, I totally agree with what Shaq Lindsay's saying here. In some ways, people that want to build superstar teams still that are in Fan Nation or social media opinion makers, it's not a way to do it anymore. In some ways, because of the salary cap and because of how you got to fit all the puzzle pieces of your roster together to get the absolute most value out of what you have to spend on it. You can't have like a disgruntled superstar that's hurt half the time and be successful in this league at this point. In fact, you're going to see cases of this all over the league in certain places where guys like Anakumto are out with a strained abductor, and their team is so much invested in that one player that the talent of the rest of the team that's out there is just not enough to compete in the league. In some ways, that's happening to us with Scott out. We just don't have the talent to overcome some things, partly because Scotty, our best player, is out, and so is Emmanuel, our highest paid player. So that's a lot of a salary cap that's sitting on our bench right now. And in some ways, when that salary cap comes back, that means the talent level goes up for our team. But yeah, I see here, you have to have exceptional role players that are fitting into the very constrictive salary cap of today's NBA. Cowboys got Monique on blast. So happy for you. Let's go. And there's the cutoff. Thank you, Cowboy, for the cutoff. Carlos saying it's maybe worth getting Tibbs, Knicks players in the future as well. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can see this. Tom Thibodeau's School of Hard Knocks is a tough place to go and play, but he does give some guys a certain thing. But you know what? Let's not get this twisted, Carlo. I think in some ways the makeup of RJ Barrett was just in him already. We can't give total credit to New York and their system. RJ Barrett was this kid when he was a kid before he even got into New York. He's just a certain kind of personality and hard worker and ferocious competitor. And I think that was in him, and we can't give it total credit. I mean, yeah, sure, going and playing in New York the first part of his career for that coach and in that media market, that hardened him and that made him more tough. But I think that he had those ingredients, and he's just always been this guy. And that, in some ways, it did help being in New York, though. You're right. Kareem's saying Embiid suspended for 3 games. Now he's going to re-injure himself by accident on purpose because he's petty like that. Yeah, this is what I'm hearing, that for shoving the reporter, he's getting a 3-game suspension added to when he's healthy to be able to come back. And they're saying that the timeline for him to come back will mean he probably comes back for the very first in-season tournament game for the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, that's not ideal for Coach Nick Nurse. I'm sure he wanted to have Embiid come back and maybe play a game before they actually have to get into the in-season tournament games. Yeah, this doesn't bode well for them. And the stuff with Antetokounmpo and Milwaukee doesn't bode well for them either. And well, in less than a week, we're coming to Milwaukee to play an in-season tournament game. We'll see if Giannis is available. It could very well be that we're going to beat Milwaukee in the in-season tournament in the first game of the in-season tournament, and nobody would have saw that like a couple weeks ago. No, they wouldn't. At the beginning of the season, if you had told me we have a good shot to beat Milwaukee in the first in-season tournament game for the Raptors this year, I'll be like, you're crazy. Well, we do. And we don't even have Scott for that game. It's crazy. It's so crazy. Jill saying Raps playing their butts off. Go team, go. There you go. I love that. Yeah. Good morning to Mr. Moody. Is Miss Moody. Miss Moody. Miss Moody. There's my other cutoff from the super fan Monique Lawrence. W Stream, W Vibes. Go Raptors for life. Keep at it always, Lex. Good times. Raptor Free Crew strong forever. That's right, Mo. Strong forever and strong for you in solidarity to help you. Jill saying, hi, peeps. Based on injuries alone, I think Embiid should have retired last year. Jill, you're funny. I'm going to give you a dunk because I love that. Jill, you say that she thinks that Embiid should have just retired last year. All right, you get a 10-pointer. You're at 50. Jill's got 50 dunks. Look at that. That's awesome. Brian's saying, what's up, Freak Nation? Hope the Raps get the W tonight. Looking forward to the kids with nightly progression and no weirdos courtside there at Debo. Brian, you got to feel a little redeemed in the hate towards Drake right now. And in some ways, Brian's probably like, I told y'all this guy's a creep. I told y'all this guy's a jerk. And yeah, Brian, you were right. You're right. Brian, you get kudos for being against our ambassador for all these years and getting your redemption because this guy's showing his true colors all of a sudden now. So big ups to you. To the Point. Y'all check out To the Point channel. It's so awesome. Cool Cat saying, good morning, Rapid Free Crew. Another comp 7Y just saw. Compet 7Y? What is that word? I don't understand that. Good morning to you, Coach Cool Cat. And I believe you're playing me in the fantasy league this week, and we are tied 3-3. Look at this battle. I love it. We got a good battle going on. If y'all have your fantasy teams, go ahead and set them up and keep up with them like a pet. You got to water them like a plant. Yeah, very interesting. Matt's saying one thing we have to remember as a fan base is since our team is so young and inexperienced, they need time. They aren't always going to play great, but we need patience. Yes, Matt gets it. Matt is in the know. Matt understands. There may be casuals on there whining and crying about close losses recently, but Matt is getting this. And what we're seeing is really, really good. I mean, a young team that's so young doesn't know how to handle close games against a team with Jokic. I mean, seriously, let's think about this. We've got guys that just played like their first 7 games ever in their NBA careers, and they're playing at a level that's very acceptable and not very many mistakes. This is so boding so well. And Matt's exactly right here. Fans got to understand this and pause. And some of their criticism is not necessary right now. Do we think that we know more than the coaches staff and the tape and what they're going to teach these kids as far as how they're going to get better? No. So being critical or analyzing the Raptors on what they're doing wrong and why they're not winning is useless. And there's so many armchair quarterbacks that are on social media trying to tell the Raptors, like, oh, they should have done timeouts. Like one of the biggest gripes from Monday that I'm hearing, and we did talk about this yesterday a bit, But I saw it in a couple more places yesterday. Is some people are saying, how do you play a game like that and have 2 timeouts in your pocket at the end of the game after that? Oh my gosh. Tell me you're a casual without telling me you're casual on social media. How do you go through the whole game and not use 2 of your timeouts? You don't have to use all your timeouts, fans, just so you know. And, gauging a coach on whether they used all of their timeouts in a game is stupid. I've never heard this. And like when I heard this casual take on Twitter yesterday, I was like, they're blaming Darko for losing to the Nuggets because he didn't use 2 of the timeouts he had left at the end of the game. That's so stupid. I mean, I very much elaborated yesterday why Darko not calling timeouts in both the Denver games to allow RJ to just kind of go was smart, is because you're playing a game championship 2 years ago that's been together for like 5 or 6 years with their core, and they have way more experience setting up in half court and stopping you on defense than if you're in transition. The Raptors have a transition game that's better than a half court game. So why the hell would Darko call a timeout at the end of the game when RJ can go on the fly with his know-how and try and catch them on their heels without their defense getting set? When you call a timeout, you allow the other team to plan and go over a play for defense for themselves as much as you get to plan an offensive play. And when your team is the green team that is young and doesn't know what they're doing, and the other team is knowledgeable and has the multiple MVP of the league, who do you think is going to get more out of that timeout with setting up and stopping the other team? So not calling a timeout at the end of the game, Raptors fans, is absolutely brilliant, considering the parameters of experience between the teams that are playing and the fact that the Raptors are better off scoring in transition when the other team has not had time to set up their half-court offense. So don't be looking at Darko's timeouts that weren't used in the game and blaming him for being a bad coach because he didn't use 2 of his timeouts. This has never been a thing. Do you know that there's been many games where some coaches don't even call a fucking timeout the whole entire game? Would that blow your mind? And they still won? In some ways, the newer fans and their casual takes sometimes just mystify me. I've never heard that criticism. I'm mad at Darko because he had 2 timeouts at the end of the game that he didn't use. Well, honestly, there's so many breaks in the game. Thank you, Darko, for not using 2 of the timeouts. I like a tight game that's like 2 hours or so, not a 3-hour game because there's so many challenges and timeouts and disputes and all this kind of stupid bullshit. So thank you, Darko, for not using 2 of your timeouts. And thank you also to Coach Michael Malone if you didn't use some of your timeouts also, which he probably didn't, casual Raptor fan. Michael Malone didn't use all his timeouts either. Oh my gosh, that one made me funny. And Matt, I love your comments today, man. I hope you'll come and join us more often. Every day we're here at 9:30 talking Raptors for the day. Trevor's saying they're saying Grady is doing better than some of the superstars in scoring. Yeah. I mean, he's on a certain level with his stats right now that he should be getting attention and more like gossip and talk about what he's doing. In some ways, he's been phenomenal and steady. That's the thing. He's been consistent. And in his player build, it's real easy to be a one night on, one night off. But no, he's showing up every night and he's producing every night. And that's the fantastic thing. His shooting's not always the best, but often he's shooting about 50% recently. But if he's not shooting 50%, he's shooting around 25 to 30%. He's contributing in defensive ways and hustle ways and just decoy ways as being a threat and spreading the floor and open up the lane for people like RJ to barrel down through it. That's right. That's right. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Trevor's saying, "Whole day, everyone, whatever you do today, but God first. Put God first." There you go. I like that. And Jill's got the wind and the sun blowing, and I'm going to take a water break on that because it kind of looks like Jill's giving me a water cue like she used to do. She's like, "Drink water, Lex. Drink water." Okay. Water is life. That's right. Drink more water, guys. Water is life. UC saying RJ's playmaking has been genuinely surprising to see how good it has been. Hopefully it keeps up with Scotty and IQ in the lineup. I mean, our team is like, I called it a pointless lineup before, like a pointless lineup. There's no true point. Everybody has the capability of being the point guard, and everybody is passing and getting assists. And that's awesome. That's part of the reason why we're getting almost 40 assists a game is because we don't have a designated point guard that's like the funnel that everything goes through. No, Jakob is getting assists. RJ's getting assists. Grady gets shots and assists. Scotty's a very assist first kind of guy for franchise plays. So yeah, it's amazing. And RJ, why not? He's getting a lot of assists right now too. Yeah, congrats to Mo, well deserved. Exactly, that's right. Let's go, Monique. Yeah, This is like I said, a heartwarming story and something I want to focus on more today than other stuff for sure. Is a great story about Mo. Infamous saying we also have to look at the coaching style. Tibbs has an old school mentality when it comes to coaching, while Darko is more new and innovative. RJ is allowed to expand his talent here. I think that the lanes are just open too. One of the things that held RJ back in New York was Randall. Randall and him are both lefties, and they like to cohabitate in the same part of the court. And in some ways, when Randall was healthy, RJ didn't do as well. And when Randall was out, he would get more opportunities. So in some ways, they had a problem there because they had two players that kind of did the same kind of things in the same place, and it wasn't working that way. That was holding RJ back to a certain point, was Julius. Let's just be honest about this. You have two left-handed guys that kind of have the same similar kind of offensive MOs. Well, there you go, right there. There you go. Jillian saying, I thought Darko's coaching was and is more European. For sure. For sure. It's a FIBA style to an extent. And in some ways, the NBA, it's perfect because the NBA seems like it's going towards more FIBA rules after the popularity of the Olympics and some of the people saying that the competition was just better. And honestly, what I'm seeing in the season of the NBA so far this year is a lot less fouls with physicality under the basket, just like in FIBA. That's why it's kind of screwy, the manipulation of the fouls coming so quick for Jakob in the third quarter last night, is because often the refs right now are allowing a lot of extra pushing and holding underneath the basket for rebounds and on defense and rim protection. And so we're getting away with a lot more physicality underneath where touch fouls would have been called last year. And that's part of the FIBAization of the NBA that Adam Silver is trying to do right now. Specifically under the basket, he's allowing way more physicality with centers and power forwards. And I like that. I like that because in some ways that makes it harder for people to score at the rim. And you better be real good and coming correct if you think you're going to score on Jakob Poeltl down around the rim. Seriously. Yeah, that's it right there. Fiercely saying, hey fam, back from my meeting. Lex, have you discussed the fact Hood Schifino is already out of the league? No, I don't really feel like this is that important of a story. Sometimes you guys bring up stuff and I'm like, yeah, this isn't that interesting to me. I mean, there's so many different players that get drafted into league and they just kind of fall out of it. And we just don't hear about it. But yeah, being on the Lakers, it's a little bit more of a forefront. It could be that this guy showed up and he didn't have a good work ethic and he didn't fit. And well, he finds the door. You don't come in correctly and you don't do the work. You don't show promise. You don't show that you're going to grow into something worth keeping. Left behind, you got to leave. I actually called this with him when I scouted him. When you guys brought him to me, I said, this guy's a garbage player and I'm not interested in him at all. Well, Lex was right on this one. He wasn't right on Grady Dick. I didn't say those things about Grady, by the way, but I did say them about Jordan. I said, I don't think this guy's very good in the NBA. Well, he's finding the door already. And it's probably because his work ethic is just not that good. Mike's saying clickbaiting has made the truth harder and harder to find. People are tired of the spin machine. People need to stop stretching the truth. It creates a bigger divide. Conspiracy theories aren't it, in my opinion. This is one of the things, like if the election results are true to what happened last night, I have to accept that this is what the United States wanted. And in some ways, I have to also, being very smart and open-minded, understand that there were echo chamber parts on my side of things politically that made this sound more doomsday. It may not be as bad as some of the things that have been said, but I think it will be because the way that they're talking, it does very much sound like he's going to try and be a dictator and ruin democracy. But also at the same time, to motivate my side to vote, they're going to say some crazy, like really, really, really tough stuff. And I may have echoed some of it here, but I think a lot of it's true. But also maybe there was some of the worst case scenario stuff won't come to fruition. And that, to get people motivated to get out there, they want to scare the hell out of them. I think the things about Roe versus Wade are very scary and true. I think the things about him trying to hold absolute power past the 4 years, if he did win yesterday, is very true. I think that also him trying to come and get his enemies is very true. And none of this is healthy. And him trying to come and get people with the immigration stuff is going to be true also. And the rising costs of living will be true also. There's a lot of stuff I know will be true, but some of it is like, there's also some stuff like that may be embellished by the left side to make it sound worse than it actually is. I'll admit this. And see, this is me showing some sort of balance in this that, this could be true. It may not be as exactly as bad, but a lot of bad stuff's going to happen. Trust me. And especially since he's coming back and he doesn't want to lose it if he's got it back. He doesn't want to lose it ever again. Mike's saying he never had a real chance on the Lakers. Jordan, yeah, he probably didn't. I mean, I hope this isn't true for Koloko also. We'll have to see. Fiercely saying, sad as per Shams, Lakers declined his third-year team option for 2025-26. Grady emerging well out of that rookie class. It's just how it goes. You don't put in the time, you don't put in the effort just because you think you got the league and that's all you wanted. Well, you got that at least. If you don't want to strive further, you don't want to try and get that next contract, you don't want to try and make the rotation, well, you're not going to get anywhere. And if you're not showing that kind of stuff and they're gauging it, and they're like, yeah, we don't, you're gone. You're out that quick. That's just how it works. That's right. Jill's saying congratulations to Superfan Mo. And also, Lex, how best to get rid of Bruce Brown, please? I don't know why we have to say get rid of Bruce Brown. I think Bruce Brown is fine right now. If he ends up playing for us this year, most of the year, and he gets traded around the trade deadline, that's probably what will happen. He's hurt right now, so there's no sense in trading him right now, Jill. We want him to come back healthy from the knee injury and surgery and show his value so that we can get more in value for him. So I don't think we're going to move him in this calendar year. It could be right around the beginning of the year and New Year's that we move him then. But we want him to come back healthy, prove that he's a good commodity, and get something good for him. So I'd say that's the best plan right there. And it's not about getting rid of him. In some ways, he's a human being. And in some ways, he's shown a commitment to the Raptors that I respect. And I'm not mad at him. In some ways, giving everybody boots and just being kind of there for all the stuff we're doing. He's engaged and he's a good teammate. So I want to respect him, even if he hasn't played a whole lot for us. But yeah, I'd say around the trade deadline, January, and after we got his value up because we've actually used him in the rotation. All right, let me just make sure I haven't missed anything. We're coming up right on the 2 hours. I appreciate everybody's comments and coming right to the end here. The injuries for the Raptors tonight are Emmanuel's still doubtful. Maybe he plays tonight. I mean, Emmanuel, just show up, man. Scotty's still out. The specialist said he doesn't need surgery, so that's good news. Bruce Brown's still out recovering from his knee surgery. And Kelly Olynyk's still weeks away with his back ailments. I'm predicting that the starting lineup will be Davion Mitchell, Grady Dick, O'Shea Abaji, RJ Barrett, and Jakob Poeltl. On the Sacramento side of things, Kevin Herter is day-to-day. He's been sick, and he's questionable for tonight's game against the Raptors. Also, Orlando Robinson and Devin Carter are out. Their starters should be De'Aaron Fox, Doug McDermott, DeMar DeRozan, Keegan Murray, and Domantas Sabonis. Of course, we always love to see our GROAT, DeMar DeRozan. Even if he's against us, we just love DeMar. Fuck you, Drake. That's what I'll say. The referees for tonight are all problematic refs historically for the Raptors, but they all favor us tonight, amazingly. Ed Malloy is the crew chief. He favors us. Natalie Sago is the middle ref. She's 10-10 with us, and she favors us over the Kings. And CJ Washington is the worst ref for us tonight. 40% win percentage with him, but with the Kings, he's 36%. So we actually have a better winning percentage with even CJ Washington tonight. So the refs technically favor us statistically. But the home advantage and the fact that the Kings are trying to come back and get us, I think that they actually will have a better chance to beat us. But we'll see. We'll see. The Raptors can do amazing things. We'll see if that can happen. All right, let me see if there's anything else I missed. There's birthdays today, guys. Happy birthday first to former assistant coach of the Raptors, coach of the Minnesota Timberwolves, Chris Finch. It is Chris Finch's birthday today. He is 55. I believe he's 55 today. So happy 55th birthday to Chris Finch. Also, former Raptor Luke Jackson is having his birthday today. Luke Jackson is, let's see, he's 33 today. Happy 33rd birthday to Luke Jackson, short-time Raptor. You guys might remember Luke Jackson a little bit. And one more birthday, a big, huge one, because there's nothing without this guy. Happy birthday to Dr. James T. Naismith, great Canadian and inventor of basketball. When he put the peach baskets up at the YMCA in Springfield, Massachusetts for the ladies to shoot on, he created a basketball sport. And we're proud of the origins of the sport of basketball coming from a Canadian man named Dr. James T. Naismith. So it's his birthday today, guys. So say a happy birthday to Dr. Naismith today also. All right, let me see. What else is there? Guys, check out shorts. There's a weird raggle today, and we're still celebrating the championship year from 5 years ago on the Kensington Variety VIP Club show. So check it out. Drake does make an appearance on my show this week. It's kind of stupid. Check and keep up with your fantasy teams, y'all. I'm right at 2 hours. Let's get out of here, y'all. Let's get out of here. Get out of here. Matt's saying, in terms of trades, what do you think are the most important areas for us to focus on? Right now, no trades at all. We just got to continue to discover the young guys. I'm not really a trade channel, Matt. Other people like to do trade machine stuff and talk about, well, we need to get this player and this player. I'm not really that kind of guy. I can kind of look at where we're lacking on the team and talk about it. And then it's up to Bobby and Masai to go and fix those problems. I mean, I don't know how to do the job better than them. I don't understand all the parameters, the different GMs' personalities, the different things that they have to deal with. And fans always think, oh, it's so easy. Why don't you just make this deal? But we really don't understand the landscape of the NBA and the GM relationships and all the very intricate rules, the salary cap. And there's also human factors as far as players not wanting to come to Toronto, maybe possibly like Lillard and stuff like that. So, you know what? I would say this, Matt, to answer your question, we need more big men. I feel like when Jakob is out, like he fouled out in the game against Denver, we see a very big void that needs to be filled. Now, when Olynyk is healthy, he helps fill that, but it may very well be that we do need another big, and I think that's where we're lacking right now. That's how I feel about it. Mike's saying some states voted for abortion rights protections and still went red. People separated the issues. It's not black and white. Yeah. Well, they're dealing with the real implications of the overturning of Roe versus Wade in like places like Kansas and different places. And they also voted for protecting the abortion rights also. That's great. I mean, in some ways, that's what Trump wants, is the states to decide it all and figure it out on their own like that. And that's why the Supreme Court ruled the way they did. But it's really dangerous and really scary. But yeah, in some ways, there are battles to be won, even if the big enchilada isn't exactly how it should have went yesterday. There's still battles on the in the little battles, and the state battles and the law battles, like Mike is saying here. Blackhawk saying JHS is not out of the league. He hit free agency at the end of the season. Anything can happen. Besides, Lakers may not be his best place for rookies. Yeah, I was wondering why you're saying he's already going to China or something like that. Somebody posted that on Twitter. I'm like, wait, that's not how it works. And honestly, he's not out of the league. It's just that they're not taking his contract. They're not interested in him. So it could very well be that, yeah, exactly what is being said by Blackhawk right here. Jordan Hood Shafino is still going to be in the league next year. So, yeah, Fiercey's just jumping ahead when she hears, oh, they're not exercising his option. He's going to be out of the league. Somebody may pick him up. Exactly what Neil's saying right there. Thank you, Jillian, for the fist and the cup. And Mo's saying, congratulations on your subs, Lex. Thank you, Mo. I don't even know how many I'm getting anymore. When I hit 1,000, it just sits on 1,000 on my page, and I'm not looking at it daily. I should go look at it. Maybe I got a bunch of them. I appreciate whoever's just subbed up recently. If you want to talk Raptors, your voice will be heard here. And we read every comment. But yeah, every day, daily Raptors stuff. If you're a real Raptors fan that really, truly wants to positively root for this team, sick of the toxic noise, and you just want to root for your team, and win or lose, you ride or die with them, you're a Raptor freak. And you found your right channel. And I appreciate everybody in the new ones there. Yeah. Cowboy saying happy birthday to Dr. Naismith. That's a fantastic birthday. Jill saying Bruno Fernando is big. We could play him more. He's big, but he's playing too slow. And he's looking like he's not playing as active as the other players on the team is part of the problem. He stands out for being lazy when you got Davion Mitchell and Grady Dick hustling like that all over the place. And Bruno comes out there and he's just not getting after it. Darko's got to bench him. So that's the problem with Bruno right now. In some ways, he could be that guy, but he's got to get a fire lit under his ass is what it is. Matt's saying, perfect. Thanks. Have a great rest of your night, and let's go Raps. See you tomorrow. Thanks, Matt. And hope we'll watch the game tonight. Now, Matt, I will say this. If you join the channel, you get access to our Facebook group. And in the Facebook Messenger, I don't know if you're on Facebook. I'm just supposing. You get to hear my comments during the game that way. It's not exactly like a watch along, but you get to see Monique's comments, you get to see Trevor J's comments, you get to see all of us are in there, like Jillian's in there too. And we're basically commenting real time during the game. Like I may say, yeah, that call by the ref was a ref manipulation. That was the wrong call. You know, you can get my opinions during the game that way. It's not the same as a watch long, but at least you get like something during the game. So consider that if you'd like. There's often people that are gifting subscriptions in this channel. And who knows, if you're in here all the time, you may get your name in green like Mike here. And all of a sudden you'll have access to our Facebook group too. So yeah, so that's the perk of joining the channel is you get access to joining our private Facebook group and access to our comments live during the game. So yeah, no problem, man. 101, 10 on DeMar Day. Thank you. I like that. We're 10-10. Awesome. So I'm not only 1,000, I've gotten 10 more subscriptions in the last week. That's fantastic. I really do appreciate every single one of the subscriptions. I mean, this channel has been building very slowly over the 3 years, but it's been building, and that's a good sign. It's not been retracting. That's the sign that I keep going. Is like even if it's slow and plodding, at least they're continuing to go up. Blackhawk saying Darko is redeveloping Bruno. For now, Darko is using Mobo to fill the role. Yeah, Mobo's energy is just more all over the place and active. And in some ways, if he's going to do that and get all over the place, he's more effective than Bruno right now. In some ways, Bruno's getting beat to rebounds by the other team. He's not showing a good effort to chase out of bounds balls. And in some ways, he's not doing enough on offense to warrant him getting a lot of minutes. At least Mobo's out there getting a hand on everything, being a shit disturber, being very active, and also, you know, getting stats and all kinds of categories every time he steps on the floor. So that's how I look at it right there. Jill saying, I like DeMar. I disagree with Chev and Drake. His has foot and mouth mishaps sometimes. Oh, well, cheers to freaks. Yeah, I didn't hear specifically what NBA Chev said about the DeMar Drake thing, but he's wrong. If he's siding with Drake, he's wrong. I'm sorry, Chev. I have a lot of respect for you, and I think you're awesome. I think that we are birds of a feather, but I can't side on this one with you. I'm with Team DeMar all the way. That's just how it is. I got to go with the player and not the guy who just decides when he wants to sit at courtside when he wants to, and he's a turncoat, honestly. Blackhawk saying Bruno was a +6, and Darko benched him because Darko knows what he wants to see out of Bruno. There was one play in particular in the Nuggets game on Monday where he just watched the ball go out of bounds, and he didn't even make any kind of effort to go after it. He could even just like chased a little bit, and Darko would have left him out there. But when you saw that little like apathetic, just kind of stand there and watch the ball go out of bounds with no effort, you get benched. And those are the kind of things that the coaches are looking at. And you can get benched for not showing effort properly out there. And that's a big part of the reason why Fernando's not getting to play. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching me once again. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share and join if you want to. There are access privileges and all kinds of other fun stuff. Remember, on December the 8th, we're going to do our first Raptor Freak hangout of the season. It'll be at the Paramount Fide Food Center in Mississauga, Ontario, at the Raptors 905 game against the Westchester Knicks. It's a Sunday afternoon game at 2 o'clock. I don't think I'm going to do a normal stream that morning. In fact, I may experiment with doing a live stream with you guys at the game. How about that? So if you guys want to meet me and more of the other people in the chat that are here regularly, we're going to go as a group on December the 8th. To Westchester Knicks versus 905 in Paramount Fide Food Center. It'll be the first 905 game I've ever been to. We'll go down there and we'll check out Shamshay and Mobo and Shed and Jacoby Walter and all the rest of them in person. And I want to get a good group going. So let me know if you're going, and I'll come pick up some people in the truck, and we'll meet you guys out at 905 on December the 8th, 2 p.m. game. All right. So see if you guys can swing it and get down there. Jill's got the blowing in the wind, a bunch of championships. I like that. Darko gave him a chance. That's right. He's good for fouls. He's good for certain things, but in some ways he's out of the rotation. And he has to work harder to get in the rotation. He has to work harder like Jonathan's working harder. All right, let's go, Raptors. Let's beat the Kings. Let's not let DeMar get revenge. Much love and respect to Debo. We love you, man. And Drake, don't say nothing more on Twitter tonight or anything. Thank God you're not going to be in Sacramento. That's what I'm going to say. Yeah, no light in the beam tonight. Raptors, let's get this win and this sweep the Sacramento Kings this season. That'd be amazing if we could sweep the Kings at the beginning of the season. Already got one of our series for the year, and we get both the wins. That'd be fantastic. In some ways, both the Nuggets games should be wins also. We should already swept the Nuggets too, honestly, if things have been in the world. Anyway, y'all have a great Wednesday. Get out there, Raptorize your day, touch grass. And, just keep your heads up, control what you can control, and just, try and look at the bright side, even on a day that's kind of, Yeah, I know. I'm feeling it too. Let's go Raptors.